I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Would it make more sense for us to have like liquidated a lot of the featherweave and traded it out for like coin and goods, or do you think that we are holding on to it?
So I think you're holding on to it, and
like all of it?
My reasoning, the 60% of the featherweave that you have is right now the community that you're in has 40% of the share of featherweave. So as far as trading good, like it's okay. They also don't have a lot of supplies here. Not a lot you'd be able to liquidate it out for.
Gotcha.
You probably want to find a way to get to a large community if you can, or a place that's near a large community. It might be difficult to go to a large community as a Corsair, but you know.
Bad ideas have never stopped us before.
That's true.
So in that case, I think Gable is just checking over like the ship, checking on readiness for flight, checking to see if there was any damage from our battle with the Civility, even though there wasn't, just kind of doing flight prep and very pointedly being by themselves because they haven't yet had a chance to really think about the things that they've recently remembered.
You are trying to be by yourself, actually. You're pointedly trying to be by yourself, but you're noticing that it's difficult because there are people that come to you with questions, people showing you things on manifests. There are people asking you, what are the captain's orders?
Oh, dear. Gable notices this and sees that there's a lot of attention being paid that they don't necessarily want. So there's a lot of brushing off and saying like, oh, the captain thinks you're doing a wonderful job. Keep at it.
Really?
Yes, you...
You hear that? The captain says I'm doing a wonderful job.
Well...
The captain!
Oh, Captain.
This ship of the Uhuru!
The guy with the big head.
Oh, yeah, the Wink-a-lot man.
Yes,
the
that's
captain.
That's the captain. You've met him. His name is Captain Oromar. He's not Captain Winks-a-lot.
No, but that's sort of the thing he does a lot. So
That's true.
That's what I remember him by.
Yeah, we all call him Captain Winks a lot.
Yes, we do all call each other by the things that we do the most. Like, you're tall man.
And you're a real taller person.
Yeah, that's...
Also scary.
Why are we so far away from each other? Are we having a conversation or are we continuing working?
You're doing great no matter what. It's
That's not really an answer to the question.
I mean, I'll take it.
You keep engaging with me. I can't tell if I'm supposed to come near to you or continue doing my important
keep
rigging
on going.
work.
Get back to work.
I never stopped working.
All of you. And Nodoze appears behind Gable, snapping his fingers and planting his spear on the ground. The comic scene of shouting has stopped. And Gable, you are sort of rubbing your temples because of the, parade of improv bits that living improv bits that you share a ship with. But when you close your eyes, you're suddenly lost in a tumbling swirl of bright light. And you get hit with a heavy sense of vertigo. And you have to catch yourself on the banister overlooking the top deck. Are you all right?
You don't need to hover around me.
Perhaps not. It just seemed like you could use more silent company.
I appreciate that. I appreciate also your discretion.
I would have no cause to talk to anyone of what I saw.
Gable puts their arm on Nodoze's shoulder in kind of like a nice, cordial, friendly manner, but also with a little bit of a strong grip to show how serious they are, and looks at Nodoze in the eyes and says, "Are you all right with me?"
I have seen many strange things, and perhaps you would be the strangest. But I don't talk about those either.
Maybe you should. The world is bright and strange. Why not tell the world?
Are you asking me to tell everyone about what I saw?
No.
Is that the beginning of a song?
No, I'm trying to be, I don't know. I'm trying to be poetic. I don't know.
Perhaps there would be questions that I would like to ask you.
I might have answers and some I don't.
There are burning curiosities that come with mortality. Perhaps some you might be able to satisfy?
I can tell you what I know. And I'm sorry to disappoint you
He
that is
leans
not
in,
much.
yeah. And then he sighs. Well enough. Ahoy! And he calls out to a group of people moving something, pulling up the gangplank as the Uhuru is about to leave port. You can see people like untying ropes on the ground, and the Uhuru starts to rise as people shovel coal into the furnaces that power the heat that makes the ship rise into the air. There is a little bit of rocking as it comes out of the dry dock that's set up at Wolf's Tooth. You can hear a light clang of the heart deep in the bowels of the Uhuru, and it takes off to the sky. As it takes off, you get hit with another bad spell of vertigo. And this time, as you close your eyes, like the bright light that accompanied the hallucination that you felt before is even stronger. You can feel a sense of confusion, sadness, and perhaps beneath all of that, rage. When you come back to your senses, you are once again leaning heavily on the banister overlooking the top deck. The people around you who have been expecting you to take the wheel, as you had done in the past in Orimar's absence, look at each other uncomfortably. Were you hit at all in that fight?
Hit? Oh. Yes. Oh, yes. Very badly.
Well, you should go see Drift then. There's no need to be brave and strong for us, Gable.
Yeah, he's the best there is.
I'm not.
Who's the best there is?
Gable!
Gable's the best there is?
No, I think.
I thought he was talking about
No, they were talking about Dref
Well,
before.
are they talking about a doctor or a driver?
I'm not.
No, that's true. I didn't specify. If I was to specify, I'd say Gable's the best driver.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But
Don't
if you're saying Gable's the best doctor, you're insane.
Right.
You're a madman.
We never gave Gable a
Can
shot
you
at
tell me
doctoring.
what your jobs are?
That's true.
Are you supposed to
Gable
be-
hasn't had their shot
In
yet.
all fairness, we should get someone injured so Gable can tend to this.
No,
Here's what we'll do.
I will not do this.
Gable will amputate my right arm, and Dref will amputate my left arm. And then,
The first one
They'll-
to sew it back on.
on the other side,
There's a fire. There's a
That's all
huge
good
fire.
and well, but how are we going
We
to
are
test to see how
sinking.
Drift does flying the ship?
You please.
It's
you,
only fair that if
I
Gable's
need.
a better doctor,
I need all of you.
If we're going to swap
Please.
arms, we should be
The
swapping
balloons
jobs
are
as well.
collapsing. We are falling very rapidly. Please, I need you to go back to your jobs.
we never stop doing our jobs.
that's why we're yelling, isn't it?
We can talk into our jobs. It's the expectation is.
multitasking.
Cable goes underneath the decks.
Where you going?
Oh, we were just getting. Well, actually, we were quite off on a tangent.
Did I miss the tangent?
We deny you.
Goodbye, wee! Gable goes down to the captain's office and opens the door, slams it, and just sort of like puts it behind them and sighs like,
What tableau has Gable entered upon?
So, Dref and the captain are both sitting on top of Dref's like main table, like the table that the raised table where he examines people. They're both sitting like crisscross applesauce and making unblinking eye contact with each other, while Dref is like vague books that I might be able to take a look at.
Oh, well, I can talk to Spit.
Where would Travis have kept them? Books of great import. He would most likely have put them on the floor or the lavatory or somewhere along those lines.
Maybe there's probably somewhere down on the tech deck.
Okay. We need to find those, and I need to
Travis Madigoff's bathroom reader.
double check his calculations, for I fear that our situation may be more dire than he's even aware of.
I think at that moment, Nodoze pokes his head below decks. The boy has been requested by by Gable.
yes.
I'm fine here, Janet. Go do what you must do.
Johnnet runs to the corner of the room, grabs his bag that has both his maps in there, and runs upstairs.
So we're going to follow Dref.
Okay.
Dref, you're looking for monumentally important books that you know somebody is not treating with the import they deserve.
Yes.
Let's do a roll for how well you know the way Travis would think.
Oh, boy. What is this roll?
Average.
And also, my perception's bad. Okay.
Cool.
I know how game that is.
It would be too purple.
You're right.
I thought you were asking like, yeah, Liz, your stat is too green. Great.
No,
Good.
my stat's not. My stat's one yellow. So this is going to be bad.
So that looks like
A failure.
failure and a threat.
Great.
The fog around you is thick. Even though you cleared away some of it when you landed, there is a lot of it that's starting to push back in. This city is built onto the side of a mountain, and city is really generous. This service station, glorified service station, is built onto the side of a mountain, and you're inside a cloud right now. So it's really hard to see around you. You do notice that it's also difficult to hear things that are too far away. The thick fog is swallowing up the voices of your companions as they make their way down the gangplank, and the silence and stillness of this place are a little bit eerie. I think the hairs on the back of your neck start to stand up.
Gable draws their sword and sort of turns back towards the gangplank to meet everyone.
Who are the first folks down the gangplank?
Yeah, Jonnet probably watching Gable jump off and land. And when he sees them land, he gets like kind of like nervous. Oh God. So he runs down and he pulls out his revolver, and now he's just kind of like trying to square up. Is everything okay?
I don't believe so, but I don't have a reason not to keep going, so.
Seeing people draw weapons makes the rest of the crew that's up on the ship like kind of nervous.
Hey, what's going on down there?
Actually, John, some sort of magical interference going on right now. Do you think you could, I don't know, feel around for anything strange?
Are you talking about with like my... And then he points to the space where his third eye is.
Your forehead. Yes, come on.
Well, no, I don't really have a lot of... I don't know how to use it. It just kind of happens when it happens.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
No, it's okay. Next, when we get back on the ship, I want to talk to you about that, but we can't do that now.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
Travis? Do you hear anything?
No.
Yeah, right?
Hello?
The echo sort of dies very quickly in the thick fog, but notably, there is nobody coming towards you to answer that call.
Well, it is early.
But you would think that people will still be out and about. I don't think we should all go in. I think just a few of us should.
Yes, I don't care for this.
The folks on the gangplank are still making their way down. There are a few determinate crew members that are trying to push past Jonnet and Travis and make their way over to the bar, tavern, cafe.
I guess Jonnet here's the interaction between Gable and Travis, and when people start coming down the gangplank, Jonnet turns and kind of like waves up at the ship at like Nodoze, kind of like signals him to come down. Nodoze, a word?
Nodoze also does a flashy jump off the side of the ship into a 3-point anime landing and makes his way over to John. Yeah, Nodoze is the show off. Nodoze, what is it?
Hey, I think that there's something wrong with this place. I don't think it's a good idea. We don't think that it's a good idea for the crew to all get off and just hang out in the bar. I think we need you to keep them on the ship.
I don't know how long that's reasonable. These people have just been through a very harrowing ride over to this place.
I mean, it could get more harrowing if we encounter something we're not prepared for. All right, just stall as long as you can.
Should I tell people to prepare for a fight?
I mean, I don't know, but it doesn't have to come to that just yet, all right? Let's just make sure that we have, we're taking inventory, making sure that the ship is in good shape after getting here after such trying times.
There's no inventory. That's part of the problem.
I need you to come up with the lie.
Fine. Nodoze looks over to Gable for reassurance that this is the order.
Gable gives Nodoze a very unconvincing sort of like wink. but I don't think Gable's ever winked before.
Yeah,
So it's really unsettling.
Nodoze looks to Gable with his just constantly tired eyes and sighs and starts to make his way back to the gangplank. We can see coming down right towards him is Wendell. Wendell appears to be, tired, but in relatively good spirits. And you can see a conversation between them. It is short. Wendell looks frustrated. And he looks back up to the captain. Hey, Captain, what gives? And we can see the captain standing on the side of the ship, overlooking the rest of the crew, or appearing to overlook the rest of the crew, with Dref beside them, I assume.
Yes. The captain looks down over everything and then walks away and walks back into the captain's quarters.
Oh,
And Dref from up top kind of gives a shrug.
really?
There is a huge kerfuffle of people complaining and asking questions. You can feel that tensions are high right now.
I think Gable's just going to walk towards the village.
Okay. So we'll follow Gable for the
Just by
time
themselves.
being.
Goodbye.
Where are you walking to?
Down the gangplank towards I guess the pub or...
Yeah. So you make your way through the fog as you walk through closer to the main structure of this town. You can see that there are many kind of Nodoze is, is there more that y'all wanted to do in the warehouse?
No, the only thing we would want to do is probably check to see if the goods are cursed or something, but I don't know. Can you just say they're not? That make our lives a lot easier.
The goods are not cursed.
Thank you.
Great.
Nice. Nodoze. All right. You are going to be so excited. All right. That the warehouse over there, it's filled with provisions. All right. We're going to be able to get out of here.
I am thrilled.
Gable takes Nodoze over, hey, I know we've been through a lot. By the way, your tone, we should have workshops on it. You are...
My tone?
Are you okay?
I'm filled with exuberance.
Over the past couple of days, you've gotten more and more, haunted.
I am practically jubilant at this point. I don't
let's just
know.
go back here. This is not going to improve. Okay, bye.
All right. Let's get that plank back up on the ship and let's get these guys into that warehouse.
And I think the gangplank lowers, and we see scenes of the crew of the Uhuru spilling into the town as the cloud cover passes. And for the first time, we really get to see the sun shine on this place. Shankill is not particularly impressive. It is not particularly ominous, especially without the fog around. But everyone moves through this town slowly and cautiously as the crew of the Uhuru picks over the warehouse and then the tavern and then the businesses and the homes of this town, taking what they can.
Name in the room number.
Yep, it's the last name in the room number. We return once again to the audition table for the Uhuru. There is a long line of colorful characters who are waiting for their shot to get aboard, and a young man approaches the table now, placing his headshot and resume in front of a panel of judges.
Hello, thank you for this opportunity.
I'm so sorry. Are you feeling well?
Yeah, we can get you a tissue if you need it.
No, I'm fine.
I'm sorry.
We are doing these auditions again next week if you want to come back and...
Oh, a callback?
No, you haven't made it to the...
Spit, you have to stop offering people... but that's not spit.
That's Nodoze.
Nodoze, you have to... wait, what? That's...
I'm sorry, should I come back in a week? It seems like you've got some stuff to work out.
The fact that a new person's here is very unsettling. I will give you that.
I did a double take. I thought that was a Spit doing a Nodoze impression.
It's very good.
Does Spit do a good Nodoze?
I wouldn't say he does a good Nodoze, but he definitely does a sexual one.
So, on your resume, I see you are currently working. That's excellent.
Yes, I have a career.
For what?
Ghost baits.
I'm sorry.
Ghost baits.
I heard you. I'm just sorry.
Oh, well, you see, I am trying to find a new job, so...
And
Yes.
What do you do at Ghost Mates?
I have a career. I'm very good at delivering, and I would like to hone those skills much like a majestic raptor hones its claws.
Okay.
So, with your position at Ghostmates, what are you necessarily moving around? Are you delivering
No, just ghost related paraphernalia. I am very interested in herbal remedies as well, and spiritual crystals, and all sorts of otherworldly ephemera.
Well, I do apologize that we are very much a scientific vessel. We invest in, real medicine and real surgeries, so
Okay,
you might
well,
not fit in.
I think that it's important to have a holistic approach to health, both from real medicine and fake hokum.
Okay.
So you do recognize that a lot of New Age medicine is hokum.
Yes, but I do very much enjoy Buddy.
Oh, well, fair.
Buddy.
Actually, I'm coming around.
Buddy. Buddy.
buddy?
But no, Buddy.
Buddy.
No, Buddy.
You smoke.
Buddy.
You smoke weed. you get high, Chief.
Well,
You toke.
Yeah, but
Okay, chill, man. It's cool. It's all cool with me.
Wait, who is this person?
Don't be a freaking narc, man. We're just trying to
don't harsh his bud.
cheap out with the new guy.
Dref accidentally walked through someone else's smoking about 5 minutes ago, and he's very, very high. I'm going to apologize.
I would like to move on to the part of the interview where we see if he's killed before.
You're a
Have
real
you
buzzkill
killed
on this.
before?
Yes,
Ooh.
See?
both on purpose and on accident.
Tell us about the accident.
Well,
Then tell us about the porpoise that you killed, my man. What will you do?
Trev, how long were you in that cloud of
What
smoke?
were you doing in the ocean around that dolphin, dude? T.
I think we need to get him a sandwich.
Is this water up for grabs, or is this anybody's? Is anyone?
No, you can have it.
It's in your hands.
Okay.
You're holding two waters.
Hey, don't mellow my kind, bud. Dookie. Oh boy. Boy.
He just did an unconvincing impression of sipping from a glass and then actually sipped from a glass.
I was just putting my lips up to it, trying to get close to it, but I was trying to warm them up before I did it. So I want to be a bird.
well, I know that it's impossible for me to be a bird, but I would like to learn how to ride a bird so I can feel the fantasy of flight.
Oh, well, it's true. We do keep birds. There are easier ways to get involved in the birding riding community. Like, have you worked at a local stable? Have you written any short stories about any birds that have changed your young teenage life? Perhaps dressage?
No, yes, no.
Oh. Do you have one of your stories?
Yes, available upon request.
I'm
Yeah.
That
requesting
was a
it at this-
request. It was implied.
Sure, here you go.
Oh wait, is it on your Patreon? Do I have to donate to see your stories?
Well, you could read a sample, and then if you think you might like the whole thing, you could just $1 a month gets access to all my short stories and also my drawings. If you see, I do have a few tattoos, and those are all based on my own artwork.
Oh, those are tattoos.
Oh, what do you think they were?
I thought they were little flat birds on him. Little flat birds laying on his skin. He moves so slow that I thought maybe the birds has just fallen asleep. Little flat birds. I'd like to pet one. Mother, may I? Mother,
Trev, you have a surgery after this.
you have a surgery after this. I'm gonna do your surgery after this.
No.
The worst part, he scheduled 2 surgeries at the same time.
I'm gonna do a penis swap.
Can't
Campaign Skyjacks is a one-shot network production. For more information, be sure to follow us on Twitter at @CampaignPod for updates about live shows and other events we might be doing. You can find more great gaming shows over at oneshotpodcast.com. Like Character Creation Cast. Character Creation Cast is a discussion podcast where Amelia Antrim and Ryan Bolletier create characters in multiple role-playing games with prominent guests from around the games community. Each month, Character Creation Cast examines the character generation process in depth in a different game with new guests each series. They always take the time to reflect on the game, its design, and what guests have to say about it. Think of it as sitting in on a great Session Zero every week. Jonnet Kessler was played by Tyler Davis, who can be found on Twitter at TylerADave, on Mainstage with Second City, or at I.O. with Devil's Daughter. Gable was played by Liz Anderson, who can be found on Twitter at LizAnderson___, or at Comedy Sports Chicago with the One Woman No Show. Travis Madigo was played by Johnny O'Mara, who can be found on Twitter at JohnnyInBriefs or on his podcast, Dilettante Ball. Dreff Wormwood was played by John Patrick Cohen, who can be found on Twitter. So we come to Dreff for sideline actions.
Karaoke.
This is the third checkpoint or the
Third
second?
checkpoint.
Okay, so third checkpoint, what I want to do is have a little bit of mechanical subterfuge. Ooh. So what is the mechanism by which the banner is hanging?
I think it's a particular sailor's knot that will release pretty easily once a bird has grabbed it.
Gotcha. But where is that? Is that hanging from like a bar?
That's a big pole, like sitting up in the air, and it's tied to the pole.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So I would like to do some sort of structural sabotage for the pole, so that when the birds like come towards the banner to grab the pole starts falling towards the birds. So that eventually, what I want to happen is the pole is aiming up, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, let's have it fall away from the birds so that it's on is it on a bridge or?
There's like towers at the four corners of the city, and it's like on one of those towers.
Gotcha. So it's going to be like breaking in a way that it'll hang off of the tower. Hopefully, if this goes well, in a way that it'll hang off of the towers, so that people will have to get much closer to the tower to try to grab the banner.
I love this. I think you're going to need a couple of strong, sturdy lads to do this. So I'm going to say this is a Wendell slam joint. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So. And what's the difficulty of this check?
Difficulty, I think this is going to be a hard check because...
Is that 3?
That is 3.
Okay. That's fine.
Because they need to not get caught. If they get caught, this could be disastrous.
Gotcha. If they get caught, which they do not. So that is, in terms of successes, it's just a triumph. And in terms of threats, it's 1 threat.
Okay.
So it's a triumph with 1 threat.
This is interesting. I think you do not get caught by like any officials that happen to be there. I think this is a matter of Wendell and Slam like choking out some guards that were around this point so that they can physically shake this pole.
Okay, cool.
But Dreff, like as he's watching this operation, he sees a spotter who's dressed in a Red Feather Syndicate like coat, who has clearly seen this and appears to be rushing along the wall.
Interesting.
You have signal flags. You can signal to the rest of the crew to do whatever, but...
Yes, I think that one of the things that like Spit is looking out for from our like signaling place is other people catching us cheating. Not so much like paying attention to what is going on in the race, but people like paying attention to what we're paying attention to.
All right, this is too complicated for us to learn the rules and meaningfully help out. So we just want to make sure we don't get caught.
Exactly. So I think that we're going to try to signal the crew that to take out the runner.
Okay, cool. I think this is a Nodoze job then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a Nodoze job.
So, yeah, I think...
Crime never sleeps.
Spinoff.
Nodoze. Crime Never Sleeps. Coming to CBS. So, yeah.
CBS All Access.
Yeah,
Nodoze is going
Half a season.
to follow this guy, and we'll catch up with that next round. Now, what do you got for us here, Dreff?
So everyone... So far, things have been pretty innocuous. The last one was pretty noticeable that the post fell down.
Yeah.
And so I think that people are going to be on a higher alert. Dreff anticipated this, which is why they're not cheating at all in the 4th checkpoint.
Are you going to be doing anything else to assist the team? On the sidelines?
So we can do like some spotting actions, I guess.
Yeah.
But really, what we want to do here is make sure that. You know what we'd like to follow? Can we follow Nodoze as he takes out that runner?
Oh yeah, we should do that. So there is a Red Feather Syndicate soldier who is running towards like a referee. They're not like, I think they're on a lower staircase on this upper wall because there are so many areas of the wall itself that are blocked off for private viewing boxes and whatnot. They have to move around to get to a referee. They've got the winter team insignia that Aristocracy's rider has, and they're moving towards this referee, but Nodoze is stalking them. JPC, I want you to roll an attack for Nodoze. I think they've got 2 greens and a yellow on this.
Okay.
I think this is hard because they're also trying to make this attack subtle.
Gotcha.
Is there any other flavor that you want to add to this? Because technically you're controlling Nodoze right now.
So Nodoze is not trying to kill this person. I think that Nodoze has like a cudgel. And I think that we knew where the referees were stationed, so we weren't trying to prevent people from hitting. We weren't trying to like stop people. We were trying to stop people from getting to the referees.
Gotcha.
So I think Nodoze is already ahead of this person and is waiting for this person to pass. And so I think what's going to happen is Nodoze is going to, when this person is trying to pass, Nodoze is basically going to like jostle around in the crowd and kind of accidentally, big air quotes and a Captain wink, cudgel this person in the head.
I love it. Roll it.
Okay, we'll see what Nodoze does. Ooh, Daddy Nodoze. Ooh, Daddy Nodoze. Daddy Nodoze gets a triumph and an advantage.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Well, we were already doing Spider-Verse riffs, so I think this person like rounds the corner as What's Up Danger is playing. And Nodoze like just kind of holds up an arm. I think it's like, one of those police batons or a tonfa type thing, just like holds up an arm and it's like, bam, splashes across the screen.
Yes.
As this person falls on their back.
Is this like we're going into the home stretch right now?
So this is the final checkpoint before the home stretch. The home stretch will have 2 rounds of you like jostling, and then that'll be it. Entering this round, Travis is in the lead. You have the potential for Ferdinand to try and grab this banner.
Yeah, let's do it. So is that...
And you're moving currently above your top speed, right?
Yes.
So that will take 1 endurance from you right out the gate.
Okay. What is the speed of victory right now?
Nodoze moves over to Gable. Sir.
What?
I don't know if the captain was planning on issuing last rites. It's not something that Oromar typically does. It's one of the areas of captaincy that he is uncharacteristically silent. I believe you should gather someone to prepare words.
I can't.
If it's not you, it must be someone. Travis is good with words. You could fetch him.
He's drunk in a gutter.
I'm a different bird.
He's drunk. When will we be doing the ceremony?
It will be as quickly as possible.
I don't want him buried here.
Then I suggest you decide what to do quickly, and I will make sure your orders are carried out.
Can we take him back to the ship? Or is that like too far?
I can see that is done.
Give us a moment.
Of course.
Is everyone gone now?
There are people shuffling up. They're headed to the suite.
Okay. I'll wait till everyone's gone.
And they file out.
There it is.
Oh, no, a couple came back because they forgot their stuff.
I am a different bird.
And they're looking around for their stuff. And they find it. And now they're gone. Sounds like a whispered argument on the deck of the ship.
In that moment, Jonnet kind of starts up very, very suddenly, and he puts his hand where his pistol should be, and he realizes that it's actually like on the floor with the rest of like his things, and so he gets down off of the hammock, and he goes and he grabs the pistol, and he maybe just like posts up on the wall and maybe just hears, because it's a little bit unusual to be hearing whispers like that, so he's trying to see like what he can hear.
Tremendously disrespectful and despicable practice. I will bring you before the captain for this, mark my words. Everyone does it. It's not like it's an unusual thing. I don't see why we have to bring the captain into it at all. I could leave it alone if you'd prefer. It's just I'd feel better. I will bring this to the captain, and you will come with me. You are lucky that I will not announce it to the rest of the crew.
Announce what? In that moment, I think Jonet is so... He's trying to be determined, but he's also very defeated at this point. So he just kind of walks out into... Are they in the hallway?
They're on the top deck of the ship.
Okay.
You're just hearing them from like probably the open cargo area.
Yeah. So I mean, Jonet just kind of coolly just like walks up the stairs to the top deck and like, what are you guys talking about?
Wilson jumps with a start. Nodoze is cool, but you can see on his face, which, normally emotions are very subtle. He looks furious, as angry as you've ever seen him. The two of them are huddled around the central furnace, where just a few hours ago, Dref's body was burned. You can see that Wilson's arms are marked with ash.
Wilson, have you been going through the furnace?
Wilson's eyes are wide with fear. He's shaking a little bit, and he looks to Nodoze, who looks away from him in disgust.
Wilson, I don't think now is the time to be keeping secrets.
Wilson hangs his head in shame and nods slowly.
How about we all walk down to the captain's quarters?
I think that would be best. Wilson, take note that the boy knows how to comport himself better than you.
Wilson definitely, you can feel the shame radiating off of him, but there's a haughty indignation beneath that. He has clutched in his hand a bag.
Wilson, for what it's worth, we're all going through a lot right now. And I'm not doing this. I'm not saying that we should go to the captain because I don't trust you. Right? It's just, we can't have these secrets going around right now. You understand that, right?
He grits his teeth and sighs as Nodoze roughly grabs him by the collar and pushes him forward.
Hey, Nodoze. He's still part of the crew.
It seems you know how to comport yourself even better than I. Perhaps it is best that you handle this, but do you know what he has been doing?
I don't. I just want to find out like you do, unless you know more than I do.
I know exactly what he has been up to, but I will allow him to explain it to both you and the captain.
Wilson, again, is ashamed, but walks forward towards the captain's quarters without being pushed by Nodoze. Nodoze moves to the back of the ship, looking over the city of Burza Nyth.
We have been through too much already. I do not have the patience to deal with someone who would be capable of doing something like that.
Wilson continues on towards the captain's quarters. Do you follow?
Yeah. John is, I guess he is hanging behind Wilson, behind Nodoze, maybe just trying to make sure that Nodoze is, I guess, keeping his hands off of Wilson. Jonet is truly exhausted. Mm-hmm. He just is kind of running off of this impulse that this is the quote unquote right thing to do.
Right.
But he's beaten.
Johnny, where is Travis?
I think he's in the captain's quarters with Gable.
Okay. And we'll say that it is sunrise at this point. It is very early in the morning.
He had changed at the funeral, so he was a man.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a knock at the door.
Are you gonna get that, or?
Shut up.
Well,
Gable.
I'm just so weak after, it just takes a lot out of me.
Open the door. I'll open the door. You don't need to talk about everything. I'll open the door.
I don't have to, but I like to.
I know you do. We all like it. Gable opens the door.
As the door opens, Wilson startles at your presence. You're very tall and very imposing, and you've made him nervous on a number of different occasions. The atmosphere here is dialed up to 11, so he starts, but you can see that his hands are covered in ash, that he is carrying a bag, and that he smells very much like the pyre upon which y'all burned Dref last night.
Well, it seems we have a grave robber. Would you like to come in?
Wilson enters the room. It's not grave robbing.
What have you been doing, Wilson?
He sighs. It's reliquary. Everyone does it.
What do you have?
Well, it's a bit strange. A few bones. He opens the bag and places some burnt-looking bones onto the table. And this, he pulls from the bag a heart.
Oh.
That looks undamaged by fire.
Huh? How is that possible?
Well, it's magic, isn't it? Dref wasn't just a normal doctor, he was a magic doctor. And it's reliquary. Travis, you know reliquary, don't you?
Let me look it up real quick.
Travis, I think you have been around long enough and in seedy enough circles that you might know about it. Roll a knowledge check.
Rolling?
Knowledge.
Pardonnez-moi?
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Dumb as hell.
We're all kind of
But
dumb.
you're so charming.
So charming.
JPC was the only one who had any knowledge. I think for you it will be easy.
That's 2, yeah?
Easy is 1.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's very easy.
Nope. That is 1 advantage.
So, yeah.
Okay.
You have not made a study of magic. And although you've heard of reliquary as a practice before, you don't know too much about it. You do know people who have dealt in it. For instance, the librarian, a friend of yours, is somebody that deals in it. As far as you know, it just involves the sale of body parts.
Well, it's gross, but it's not illegal. In the same way that nothing we do is illegal. How it is illegal, but if you don't say what you're doing, then it's not illegal.
Well, it's a safety issue, isn't it? Dref's dead. We don't have a doctor. I want protection.
Protection? How will keeping his heart that is untouched, how is that going to help?
I didn't mean to. I was just looking for some bones or something.
Well,
when someone who does magicking dies, they leave a body, but people who practice magic can take that and use it in their magics. It's no different than using an animal heart or something.
Wait, I get that. The spirit of somebody who was adept in magic can live on in their body parts, and it would fuel into concoctions and maybe elixirs of going on. But I don't know does that explain this heart? How is this untouched? How is this so well preserved? This doesn't seem.
Well, I don't know, but that's the thing. That's Dref, isn't it? He had that university education.
What is the captain doing right now?
The captain is standing silently looking out the back window.
Look, Wilson, we'll cut you a deal. You give us the heart, you can keep all those gross bones, and we'll never speak of this again.
Dref would agree. It's not like he's using them anymore. anything that used to be part of him is no longer part of him. If you want to keep your bones, if they're going to have usefulness beyond his life, why not?
Yeah.
Wilson nods silently. Nodoze scowls, and I think he looks to Gable, and there's probably a hint of surprise or reproach in his look to you, but he doesn't argue. Wilson hastily grabs the bone and leaves the heart on the captain's desk.
Wilson, I guess in the future, you can tell us these things, okay? Again, you're part of the crew, and if this is important to you, keeping Dreff's body, his parts, pieces...
I didn't mean any harm by it.
I know.
It's a common thing where I'm from.
And we're not going to punish you for that.
And Wilson, do keep us posted on, how much money you make from selling them.
I would never sell. I would never sell.
Well, then why are you taking them?
For protection.
Oh.
Dreff was a healer. If I catch a stray bullet or a knife or a sword somewhere, there's no doctor to sew me up anymore.
We will work on finding someone who's able to patch us up. We're not gonna actively go out there into the wild just without a doctor. Know that it's coming.
And I guess I'll keep you posted on how much my bones sell for.
What?
But
what?
What?
You didn't take bones to sell?
No.
It's not illegal. Did you not hear me say that?
Well,
Travis, what do you have?
Just some bones.
Whose bones?
Why, you don't just sort of pick up bones as you find them?
No.
I never have, no.
Can I roll to see if I'm mad?
Yeah,
if I do a bad thing.
Yeah, I want to actually talk to Nodoze a little bit.
Yeah, and this is something that you can all form your own opinions about, I imagine.
And to be clear, I ate the bones.
Oh.
There's probably a very big
Well, this is like that
cultural-
mechanical thing of like, can I control myself?
Yeah. Well, this is a question. Travis, did you take stuff from Dreff, or are these just bones that you have?
Little column A, little column B, I think.
So I like the idea. Please, Johnny, tell me, what bone or piece of Dreff does Travis have?
I think he took maybe a piece of like his jawbone or his teeth.
Great.
Bag of teeth. You have a bag of teeth.
Well, doesn't everyone have a bag of
No.
teeth? Where do you keep your teeth?
They don't
You just
fall
keep
out.
them loose?
Okay.
You just have loose teeth?
No, I don't keep them.
I think this is then hard if it is also Travis partaking in this practice.
Criminy. I can read these now.
That's a big success.
I'm cool with it.
Great
I'm hecka
success.
cool.
That's 2 successes.
Gable searches themselves for their feelings and finds more than anything a sense of numbness, no desire to either reprimand or applaud.
No, go ahead.
Nodoze, I think since we're all here, we're all on the same team. If you have something that you want to say that you think is important, that why you're so angry at Wilson, feel free to use this moment to speak openly. All right, no one's going to be reprimanded. This is an open dialogue.
Dreff served this crew in life, and he died for this crew. It is no mistaking that Dreff was in Captain Oromar's room when he was murdered. We saw that there were dead Red Feather soldiers in that room. Dreff is someone who I have known for a relatively short period of time, but in that time I have not known him as a fighting man. And I saw that he struck down those soldiers. He did not sell any peace to this crew. He lived and died for this crew. Which means I don't believe we were entitled to any part of him. And part of the tradition of burning a body is to show some form of respect. Now, obviously, something strange happened here, and perhaps Wilson is right. Perhaps there are magical qualities to the body of our fallen friend. But I do not believe that entitles us to take souvenirs.
Nodoze, I hear you. All right, Dreff was amazing. All right, and he did so much for this crew to protect us that we came to rely on him for that. More so than for our medical needs than maybe anyone else that has been on the Uhuru. So maybe it just makes sense that people would find solace, find comfort in taking a piece of him for protection. All right?
It doesn't just stop here. Ormar, you've sailed these skies long enough. You know that if we allow this to happen, that everybody that falls on the Uhuru will become some relic clutched in the palm of some weak coward.
Nodoze, we are better than every other ship in this sky, all right? We run things the way we do things. We do things our way on this ship, all right? We respect the people that are on this ship, and we take time to hear them out, all right? We can't just assume the worst out of our own people. We have to stand united against the Youngbloods.
I will respect the captain's decision on this.
I'm going to roll to control the captain. Please remind me.
That would be your divine.
Sheesh. Okay. Versus.
You said sheesh. That's very good.
I keep on losing these rolls, though, no matter what.
The question is, what do you want the captain to do?
I'll tell you when I see what the roll is.
Okay, so basically, the way I decide difficulty on these is based on...
It's not going to be that hard.
Okay. Then let's call it an average difficulty. This will still take 2 strain from you to attempt, but...
Ooh. All right. So that is a triumph and a failure. Is that possible?
Yeah. That is absolutely possible. So
what would that?
So that means Gable fails at whatever they were trying to do, but something really good happens as well.
Okay. Then I know what that is. Gable was trying to get the captain to turn towards Nodoze and shake his head, just something very easy. Mm-hmm. But instead, the captain turns around, walks around to Jonnet, and puts his hand on Jonnet's shoulder.
Ooh.
Nodoze looks into Captain Oromar's eyes, and obviously the man is unfazed and unblinking.
Very well, as per your orders, Captain. Come, Wilson.
Nodoze leaves the room.
As Nodoze is leaving, John is like, Nodoze, thank you for being honest and talking about this.
I appreciate that the captain heard me on this issue.
And with that, he's still clearly visibly upset, but it's that sort of upset where people have been reasonable to you, so like the wind is kind of out of your sails.
Fine.
I guess. He leaves, and Wilson exits the room rather quickly, leaving the rest of you alone in the room with a sooty heart.
Okay, what is going on with this freaking heart?
Okay, it's very strange, we can all agree.
I can't keep doing this. I have to hand over the captain to someone else. I can't
What?
control him.
That was awesome.
I didn't tell him to do that.
What?
Maybe no one needs to control him. Maybe he's learning how to, I don't know, be a little bit alive again.
That's not good. I don't think that's good. I think that's bad.
This has been getting worse and worse over time. How long have you been controlling him again?
A day, maybe.
Okay.
I think we need to kill him.
But we kill the captain. No one wants to listen to us.
Then we leave. Then we go to I don't know if you recall, but I promised the crew that we would tell them everything. Once we had our revenge on the Youngbloods, we would tell them everything. This is part of it. And do you think for 1 second, once this crew of people who believe in mysticism and conspiracy theorists, do you think once they find out they've been living with the zombie for 6 months, do you think they'll let him live?
But I think you're missing the whole point, and that's that we shouldn't tell them the truth, and we should absolutely continue to lie to them.
Why? What's the point? If lying got Dref killed. If lying is supposed to protect someone, it already hasn't.
How did lying get Dref killed? He would have been killed anyway.
I don't know. If it weren't just us, maybe someone else could have been in the room with him.
I've spent a long time lying, and I'm still here. And I think maybe, more often than not, lying is what kept me alive.
If I could have Wendell and Nodoze there.
Sure.
As the competition is going on, Gable is keeping an eye on the competition, but also talking to Wendell and Nodoze because they need both an exit strategy and a way of preventing exit. And
interesting.
So we've got captains in just two friendly faces working in the arena.
Yeah, cool. So do you want them to be with you in the booth or like...
Just peeking over the booth and me whispering to them.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how's it going?
We are... You don't need to whisper. I mean, we're allowed to be here.
But I guess
I snuck in.
you didn't pay.
You had a ticket. Spooky butlers escorted you in. I had to go to the bathroom, though.
Okay, it's fun when you
and
two...
I lost my ticket.
It's very fun when you two talk to each other. I would love to see that all day. But Nodoze, can you help me?
Anything. What is your command?
Can you, in the championship round, which we all know that I will be in, the Youngbloods in the spring, are they in the spring?
Youngblood, I believe, is in the Winter Court.
The Winter Court will be unattended. I would like you to invite yourself to the Winter Court.
What would you have me do while I am there?
Whatever you feel is appropriate.
He nods.
Should I kill soldiers?
Yes, kill. That's where the Youngbloods are, and like, wow, what a great opportunity to really show our revenge.
I see.
Okay, great.
Target the personal guard.
Yes, exactly.
It will be done.
And Wendell?
Yeah.
Tell the crew.
Tell the crew.
To
what?
Prepare for exit.
All right. We'll ready the ship. Should we bring the captain to the ship or?
Yes. No, I'll get him, the captain. Yes. But first, what I want you to do is talk to one orphan. The rest of the orphans will tell the others.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sure.
They have a protocol that they're going to be enacting, and you're going to tell them. Yeah.
Is there like a code phrase or?
No, just go. It's not a very clever plan.
No, we just, here's a question.
Yes.
From me to you.
Uh-huh.
How are you going to be leaving this arena?
Probably not in a popular way, for sure.
on a bird or?
Oh.
Are you walking out?
That's a great idea. I'll fly out. That's great. What a great... you're the smartest one out of all of us. Wow.
Really? You think so?
Super great. I thought this was going to be cool, a nice debrief, but you are making me so much more nervous than I actually was before. So if you guys could just go...
What are you talking about? You just gotta take on that little pipsqueak up there.
There's other things that work, and maybe there's going to be a lot of cheating, and I'm very anxious about it because I don't have my
No, that guy looks like he listens to a lot of Evanescence.
Yes. Oh, great. Excellent. That's it. I don't know.
You sound a lot like Dreff, actually.
Just go.
So they are dismissed and patter off. Let's go over the captain's quarters as a hand is reaching towards the door to knock. That startles everyone in the room who is just turning over the unbelievable revelation their friend Gable has laid before them.
Who is it?
Nodo.
Oh, come on in.
Nodoze opens the door and pokes his head in the room. He stares around. How do you all look? Like you've just heard some mind-bending stuff.
Very sallow.
Jonet's fallen back on the desk. The desk is clearly supporting his weight.
I think he is shocked, but I think a little bemused.
And the captain's hand rests on Gable's shoulder.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of surprising things can have happened. We didn't have to look at it, so whatever, man. Am I interrupting?
No, would you like to join the puzzle?
That is part of why I am here. As Wilson passed on navigational information, I spotted these on his person. And a handful of puzzle pieces fall to the floor from Nodoze.
Why would he do that? Was he making sure that we didn't finish without him?
Are these part of the scattered pieces that we've been missing the other times we've tried this puzzle?
We've never gotten far enough to know if we're missing any pieces. Never.
It's a metaphor that we need to trust the crew with our secrets to be able to give back from them what we give to them so we can finish the puzzle and therefore our journey. Fine.
Just letting you know that the course you plotted has been set and is moving apace.
Okay.
Hey, Nodoze, I don't know if we said it, but great job with the race.
Oh, yes.
I know we were...
Yes. Let me... Nodoze, if you come over here.
Nodoze steps over and stands at attention.
You know the drill.
Nodoze kneels down in front of Gable.
For your excellent work on your project, here is a great job sticker.
I shall wear it with honor.
Thank you.
It already is falling off.
Okay. Might want to safety pin that. Or just keep it in a box as a...
I'll put it with a scrapbook.
Yes.
Also, Spit has requested Jonet's presence, if that's all right.
Right now?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
We'll talk later. That's fine.
Okay. He reaches down, grabs a puzzle piece. Seems like everybody's just so you don't finish it without me, you know?
Okay, that's not how this works.
There's absolutely no way that we even... It's 10,000 pieces.
It's not how puzzles work.
Just a little insurance, you know?
It's really...
Okay.
Take a handful.
No, please don't.
Fill your pockets.
Please, no, just finish the puzzle. That's not... Okay, fine.
And Jonet kind of runs out with... where's Spit? Where is he?
I will take you to him.
Okay.
And they leave. The door closes, and the camera slowly moves back into the room, looking at Gable and Travis. Do love this. I mean, one of the things we learned about Gable last arc is they love to work out and are deeply into CrossFit. So let's cut to the top deck of the ship. Again, there is a torrential downpour. What is Gable doing? What do they look like? And how are they motivating the crew?
Okay, I guess.
Or so they don't have to be motivating the crew. They could be doing something.
There's a torrential downpour, correct?
Oh, yeah.
On deck, there is a skeleton crew, right? So we swoop in and we see 3 figures. They're wrapped in these long leather oil covered cloaks to kind of get the oil off of them. It's really dark, except for the occasional flash of lightning in the distance and also some swinging lamps. They are huddled close together in such a way that makes it obvious that there's not actual work being done. And as we go in closer, we see that one of the figures is holding a cigar, or whatever this world's equivalent of a cigar is. And another figure strikes a match and holds the match up to the cigar. And the cigar begins to light. And when the cigar lights, that flash of light illuminates the face of Gable.
Cool.
Gable is wrapped up in this leather-bound cloak with part of it held close to their mouth. And so they reveal themselves to take a drag of the cigar that they're just kind of passing between the 3 of them. Gable is significantly taller than the other 2 figures. I believe it's probably Nodoze and some other NPC of your choice. They're 7 feet tall. Their hair is cut close. Since Burza Nyth, Gable has given themselves undercut. So really they have long silver hair, but only tied up in a top knot. And the way that they're dressed is very plain, but they've allowed themselves to be a little bit more expressive and a little bit more, I think, casual. So I think that means maybe wearing like more colorful pants, still very utilitarian. And then as soon as they take a drag of the cigar, they look back out into the distance to see if they can see anything.
I have a question. We could introduce the idea of tobacco and tobacco products to this setting. Or
I don't want it to be tobacco.
Yeah, okay. So then is this...
I think it's a weed equivalent.
Yeah, okay.
Dope.
So then I'll introduce one of my favorite bits of like sailing lore, and that's smoke and rope.
What's that?
In that some ropes would be made of hempen blends. So you'd be able to get a little bit of a buzz off them if you just smoked the rope. It was a great way to like sort of combine getting high with like a utility thing that you needed aboard every ship.
I love that. Oh, I love that so much. And I think that this is a thing that they do regularly, because what Gable likes to do is hang out with the crew and do kind of the more like really crunchy roles in the on the crew, just being out and about and like doing shots, and I just really like that. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I think you're standing there with Nodoze and I'll say Pliff. I think Nodoze is as implacable as always, but this has clearly affected Pliff a great deal. He like looks a little dizzy.
Are you good?
Do you mean like existentially?
You're not good. Cool. Great. I'm going to ask you to... All right, how about you go below?
I've made a lot of choices. I lead a life of crime.
How about you go below?
I'm a criminal.
Yeah, pretty much, for sure. How about you go below deck and maybe go to bed?
Oh, my mom must be so disappointed in me.
Okay. Nodoze, can you take him, please?
Of course. This way. Watch your step. There we go. That's a boy. Gable, you can look over across the deck to the furnace and the little canvas canopy that's been set up for the bags of coal that were brought up to feed the furnace. You can see already it looks like the furnace, the coals inside are starting to dwindle. It's going to need more fire soon.
Mm-hmm. Gable looks at it and then kind of cocks their head, because that shouldn't be as low as it is. And then they turn around and head back inside behind Nodoze.
So as you start to go back inside, and as you open the door, lightning strikes. illuminating the figure of Spit, who is wrapped up in one of those oilskin cloaks.
Gable! Jesus Christ! Christ! I don't know who that is, but I want to say it. Skyjacks.
No decline or a sharp decline?
Well, we don't really know yet. The list is kind of happening faster than we expected, so let's go with a good old-fashioned middle of the road.
I will keep our course. I'll just wait for the captain's call. Thanks, kid.
It might come from one of us that's not the captain, but I love your enthusiasm. And then he runs up to the wheel.
Yeah, I think right now probably Nodoze is on the helm.
I had an idea.
Oh, yes.
It might needs be. It might be very cloudy. Would it make sense to have two birds guiding like headlights down for Jonnet to like follow?
Yeah.
Like we have like little lamps to help guide the ship down.
So I really like that idea.
Because I think Travis should be coming with me.
Yeah. Ooh, good. That's perfect. That solves it. That's exactly what it has to be. So yeah, there's so much rain and just so much thick, heavy mist that you can barely see at all. John, at first, you arrive at the helm and Nodoze is there. Water is beating down on him. Nodoze is like a pretty tall, gangly guy, so he is bracing himself right now with a rope draped off one of the lines, really struggling to maintain his balance.
Janet runs up to him. Change of plans, ND. He takes the bandana off.
Oh.
And then he's like, you mind if I cut in?
So taking the bandana off, I've got a question. I mean, it is raining right now, so it could have weighed down your hair. Are you exposing your eye to Nodoze?
No.
Okay.
Right now, it's just the bandana is off, and I'm just kind of like asking to cut in and have some space.
The captain has ordered this?
The captain has ordered that I am to be at the wheel.
Nodoze eyes you for a hard second, and then looks like he comes to a decision. So it is. And he'll step away. He'll take his spear and plant it in the ground so that he can like watch over you while you're doing this.
All right. Do me a favor and keep your head up, okay? Just make sure that those birds are flying and giving us some light, okay?
Birds?
And then I feel like at that moment, the birds like swoop by him.
Let's cut over to Gable and Travis, who have, like, Gable, what do you say to Travis to
Grabs
get
him
him
by
to...
the scruff and is just pulling him down, down to the birds.
There's no need. There is no need.
Get on.
I like that Gable has, like, are you dragging him or are you holding him up? I feel like Gable is physically powerful enough to do either.
I love the image of Travis as like a little kitty cat, just being held up by his coat.
You're
like a little
always
baby.
so rude to me.
Well,
and
then walk.
honestly, it's uncalled. Well, sometimes it's nice to, be carried around. You could be nicer about it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of a struggle at first, but he kind of relaxes into it.
Margaret, if you're saying that I have to talk to Travis again one-on-one, I will kill myself. I know that it is impossible for me to do, but I will find a way. I'm so mad. I'm so upset right now. Please don't make me do this.
Gable, it's going to happen. Have a good night. Thank you for the kiss. And you're right. I can see the charm. Margaret.
Thank you, Margaret.
Walks down the plank and makes her way back into the town. At that moment, behind you, like off in the distance, you can just feel the presence of Nodoze, who is respectfully not looking your way until you bid your adieu.
Gable sighs, straightens up their jacket, and walks over to Nodoze just holding a length of rope in their hand so they can go have a smoke together.
Yeah. Gosh, I do. That's such a perfect cut moment. If perhaps the captain, or at least the quartermaster, were to go along with a plan that ended with us loading up the ship and pushing off, then Jane might go along. Nodoze is a different scenario altogether. He likes to fight.
So what you're saying is if we want the young hotties to fight, we have to convince Jane, and if we want the old perverts to fight, we have to convince Spit.
What I'm saying is you should be convincing that everyone that nobody should be fighting at all. If we load up now, if we start working now, those of us who aren't chipping off Skamalik, so we actually do have the option of getting out of here, can make sure we have enough supplies to make the jump over to the next place.
And where would we go? With all of these people, we're going to be carrying more cargo, so we're not even going to be able to get as much distance as we initially thought we would. Well, we might have to.
Spit would tell you that is a Star Watcher's job, Mr. Kessler.
I'm just saying that. Jonnet points to his, or just kind of like looks back at his map on the desk, and just kind of like he's been plotting out all these different ways, and he's kind of doing the internal math where it's like if the Mariner could like follow them this far, then they could continue to be followed. It might not end.
Well, then we should travel inland. We're not on an island here. The Mariner could circle round the coast, but if we head into the heart of Sphere, he's not going to be able to follow us there. And also, I know, child, I know you're afraid. I know you're worried. But the Mariner ain't after you. The Mariner's after whatever he can get.
I mean, kind of feels like he's after me.
We'll cut to Gable and Nodoze. Where are they smoking rope? Where are they token rope, I should say?
Like that.
At the helm.
I like to fight.
Yes, Nodoze, we all know.
Well, I can sense that you want to too. I don't think we should run away.
Well, I don't think so either, but we do have 100 innocent souls who aren't battle-bred as you and I.
At least 100 innocent souls. Who knows how many?
Who's to say how many? In the village, here on the ship, in our hearts, at any given time.
Numbers are so ephemeral.
I don't want to fight because I think that we can win. I don't think so. I want to fight to show Jonnet that he can win.
You'd really believe that, don't you?
He's so powerful.
The boy spoke of facing the Mariner and Burza Nyth.
I believe him.
Mr. Gable, if you don't mind my saying, I have never seen you as a philosopher.
Rude.
But...
What's a philosopher?
I also don't doubt your judgment. If you say the boy speaks the truth, then that is probably the truth. How do we win? If we begin our preparations now, if we work on creating defenses, if we rally the people of the town, then we could have a chance.
I have a theory. And as you said, I'm no philosopher or doctor or whatever it is. Those are the same thing, right? Anyway, I have a theory. One magic user was able to use so much power through the will of the things that they already knew. The Mariner feeds mainly on
the uncertainty of the world. I think it's been so long that since he's had a real fight that he won't know what to do.
You can see Nodoze, after finishing a long drag on his length of rope, nods, letting the smoke roll out in smooth tendrils. We could put up a fight, to be certain. It depends on how much of the drowned fleet is going to be in that harbor.
The fleet. Yes, the fleet. I think you and I are more than capable of handling a fleet, wouldn't you say?
I would rush into battle alongside you if we were the only two people left in the world, because I believe you'd have a chance at doing it. But the Mariner will be bringing ships, and the Uhuru is uniquely bereft of cannons.
I feel like it's time to do a roll, because I want to see what I know.
All right.
About the Mariner's weaknesses.
Hell yeah.
Power cord.
May need more juice.
I
want some juice.
Give me my
juice.
So Gable, this is, I think, going to be a knowledge adventuring for
Could
you.
it be knowledge forbidden?
Sure.
Could it? Thank you. That's the one that I have. Okay. Versus?
I think this is going to be a hard roll. I will give you a blue die because you're so very old.
So that's 3 purple, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to use my app for the first time. Very excited.
Ooh.
Okay, that is... All right, that is 2 failures and a threat. Never mind. I ain't no shit betting the Mariner. Oh, well.
Yeah, Gable, we will flash back to encounters that you've had with the Mariner. And, you know, perhaps in 200 years, you might have had a dozen different encounters with drowned sailors. You were pretty much always fighting on the run. You have experienced many different flavors of the Mariner's magic, but you can't really put a specific name on any of the spells or description on any of the spells. You kind of faded into violence in each of those situations. The only thing you remember is fighting drowned sailors was actually pretty simple. You carved through them very effectively and quickly.
I don't think it is our job to defeat ships or turn down an entire fleet or destroy dozens upon dozens of and annihilate drowned sailors. We just need to give Jonnet enough time to draw out the Mariner himself. Once he becomes vulnerable, that's all we need to do.
You believe the Mariner will personally appear to attack this town?
I'm certain of it. It's Night King rules. It's like you kill the big one and then they all die. Like that scroll that I read.
So then what would you have us do? Do we wait out a siege until the Mariner is forced to walk on land and target him specifically? Do we ride out to attack his ships directly and him individually?
Do we know how many days or how long?
I mean, it feels like it's pretty close at hand. If it's a siege, we could go into town and figure out how many cannons they own. If we are to fly out, we could even put together a crew, commandeer the pinnace and bring that out into battle. Use it to our advantage. It has plenty of cannons. If we know what we want to do, we can start the work now. I know that the Wasp is going to try and stop us.
She is averse to risks, which is very counter to Oromar's own philosophy. But she has been wise on more than one occasion, and he may indeed listen. Spit will no doubt follow the captain's will. And there's the question of Jane. Jane could move either way, and many of the new recruits have been listening to her.
So what you're saying is that if we want the hot young people on our side, we need to get Jane. And if we want the old perverts, we need to get Spit on our side. It's difficult.
Ideally, yes. Now, if we were to win over Travis seems to be charismatic enough to capture the ear of everyone, especially if the Captain's Council is presenting a united front with a plan. We should be able to talk people into this.
Well, Nodoze, I know one thing. I need to get a lot smarter in like 10 minutes.
That's going to be real difficult to do.
It is.
Nodoze takes another long drag on his bit of rope.
Skyjacks.
So with that, are you ready to go to the vote?
Well, is it an hour?
About an hour.
About an hour.
Yeah, I guess it's been about
Give or take. All right.
The heart bell tolls again, letting everyone know that there is 1 minute until the meeting. You can
Thank you,
hear
Juan.
and damn it, I was going to do the same bit. I'm glad that we both stole it from Johnny, though.
That's great.
That's what makes me happiest. Yes.
Hey, you earned it.
We can hear the echo of thank you one around the ship as everyone prepares to go to the top deck. We can see that there's already a crowd gathered on the top deck, sitting on the railings around the center of the ship. We find nearly every member of the Uhuru. In the center of the ship, near the main mast, sits Oromar Vale with Spit at his side. They wait until the last crew members file in before they begin. Spit steps forward. All right. Now, some of you know, either because you've been having dreams of your own or you've just been keeping your eyes and ears open while you've been here in Nordia, the Mariner's coming. And looking up at the sky, we all know what a red sky at the morning means. There ain't no avoiding it. We don't know when the drowned fleet is going to make port, but we know they're coming here, and we know they never mean well. So we've got two options as far as I see it. The first is that we gather everyone here that we can, put them in the hull of the ship, and we fly off as many survivors as we possibly can to another port. That's the safest way to do things. We got a little bit of Skamalik left to scrape. If we tried to take off now, we wouldn't be able to do it. We've been paying special attention to the guide sails and to the rudder, but there's still more work to do. And likely, if we don't finish what we have to finish here, we'd have to stop somewhere along the way. And there just aren't other ports equipped as well as Nordia. So we've got to commit a lot of people to work on that. And the second option is that we fight. Now, I know we got a lot of brave people on this ship, and the Uhuru has fought its way out of some tight spots in the past. So, if people want to commit themselves to fighting the Mariner, it might be able to give this port a chance. Be able to save a lot more people if we can actually turn the Mariner back. Now, no matter what, at the end of this vote, the crew is going to decide. We follow the captain's orders, but ultimately it's down to every person on this crew to choose what we do. Now, you all agreed to be a part of the crew of the Uhuru, which means you agreed to abide by the decisions of your fellow crewmates. I know people feel very strongly about this because I've already heard rumblings around the ship. If the vote don't go your way, you still got to commit yourself fully. If we do either one of these plans halfway, there's a chance that no one's making their way out. So, because it's everyone's choice, everyone's allowed to speak their piece. With that, Spit steps back and into the crowd, leaving the captain sitting on a barrel in front of the main mast. The captain looks around at the crowd, and the three of you try to decide if his movements have the unnatural and automatic tone that they've carried after Dref reprogrammed in lifelike movements, or if there is a new lifelike fluidity to it. You can't decide either way. As the silence rolls forward while people choose whether or not they'd like to speak.
Jonnet is going to stand up. Look, either way we do this, it's going to be tough. The Mariner is an incredible force, it's terrifying. But we already faced him once, all right? And he's still on our trail. He's still looking for us, hunting for us. We have to be able to find a way to push him back. Okay, all right.
Baby
Wow,
kitty!
the cat really got involved on that one.
Everybody hold for Cat. I got a
Hold
black
for Cat.
cat crosses
Thank
in
you,
front
Cat.
of Jonnet, and he's like, oh no. The Mariner is a terrible force, and he's coming after us, but we can't just run, all right? How far could we even get with all of this schemalic? We've got to try and take a stand. We did something at Burza Nyth that not a lot of people can say that they've ever done, which is we fended off an attack from the Mariner, an advance from the Mariner. I'm not saying that we have to defeat him. I'm not saying that we have the ability to end the Mariner's terror right here, but if we leave, we might be putting this town in danger. Look, I'll go along with however the crew votes, but if we're smart about this, we might have a chance. And that's more than maybe any other crew who's ever encountered the Mariner can say. And that's all I got.
With that, there are hoots and hollers from the more hawkish members of the crew. Those who are hungry for a battle. Those who wish to test their mettle against the drowned fleet. After that, there is another beat of silence before the Wasp steps forward onto the center deck. She looks around at the faces around her, seeing those who are hungry for a chance to prove their mettle, whose bravado rolls off of them like a cloud. She squints. Now, I know there are a lot of brave people aboard this ship. I've seen that bravery time and time again as I have served as your cook. But there are limits to what we should do. The Mariner is dangerous. And this isn't the first crew that's thought to face the Mariner. And sure, the Mariner has been turned back from certain ports before. There have been full red feather combat contingents that have faced down against the drowned fleet. The Tempest Armada in their day would even go toe-to-toe with the Mariner over certain ports. But this is not our fight. We're all on this crew because we are corsairs. We are outlaws. Our conflict is with the Red Feather Syndicate. They are the reasons that you cannot go to your home ports. I know many people out there who have lost friends and family because of the Syndicate. if you want to be strong for that fight, you have to remember that you do not need to be a part of every fight. Now, the captain is a good man, and the Uhuru is a good ship. We work to do what good we can where we can do it. And to me, that means loading up those townsfolk out there who are scared and perhaps maybe unsuspecting that the Mariner is coming. If the Uhuru wasn't here, those people would have nothing. But we are here. We can go out there. We can grab as many people as possible, load them into our hull, and drop them off at the next port we find. We can give them a chance to live their lives. But if we go out there and we fight the Mariner and we fail, no one is making it out of here. I know a lot of you have seen the Mariner in action before. I know you have seen his dark magic. You know exactly what he can do. It's too much of a risk. We haven't even scouted this fight. We have no idea how many ships from the drowned fleet are waiting out there in that bay to swarm over everything this town has to offer and leave nothing but violence and bloodshed behind. This isn't a fight that we planned for. This isn't a fight that we're equipped to have. If we want to do good, we gather up people, we get them on our ship, and we go somewhere else. We don't throw our lives away for something that might not even be worth our time. And with that, Hornet looks around once more and steps back.
As soon as Hornet sits down, Gable, who has been leaning up against a pole, stands up straight. Hornet is right. We cannot win. In this fight against an enemy so great, we cannot hope to win.
There's a lot of rumbling and muttering in the crowd from both sides of this debate.
The wise thing to do would be, of course, to gather as many villagers from Nordia as possible and make our way to the next port. And as we fly away, they can see the Mariner's drowned fleet overrun everything that they've loved for thousands of years, destroying their homes, their livelihoods, and have themselves start over in new lives that they can't even fathom because of a threat.
Where are you going with this?
Do your thing.
Janet, I'm scared.
There is... Okay, you sit down.
Okay. Sorry. You do you.
There's no way to win, but there is a way to save Nordia.
Are you serious?
Let them... Come on.
Okay, I need you two to sit down.
Yeah, you're right.
I like all of these times, like slowly. Gable has been standing in the middle of the deck, but Travis and Jonnet have like kind of slowly edged their way out of the crowd each time, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah," and they melt back. So find them, like magnetically pulled back to Gable.
The Uhuru is no army. This is true, but in this crew there are such powers, such wonderful magic and strength amongst our people that we provide a unique opportunity. If the Mariner had come to Nordia without us, they wouldn't have stood a chance, but they do because of us. And they stand a chance because Nordia itself has unique properties that can bind the Mariner. Not beat it, bind it.
With this, there is more rumbling in the crowd.
I want you all to look me in the eye and say that the attempt to save a town, to save a village, to save a livelihood is not worth doing if we know that we can. We don't need to beat the drowned fleet. We just need to draw them out. We need to know exactly what's coming. We can go take scouting parties, draw them out, and draw the Mariner to provide them the folk magic that all of you know already exists in this area. It is possible, and I've seen it. The Uhuru is capable of such great things, and if you had the chance to do this kind of damage to such a fatal foe. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You got there.
Yeah. Jonet and Travis are like clapping. We'll have notes, but you did pull it around.
We are not here to battle. We are here to fight another day. And we can, and we should. And Gable sits down.
Approaching the center deck is Nodoze. He carries his spear with him. His long, tired eyes look out over the crowd. I believe in Gable. I believe in the captain. I believe in Jonet Kessler, and God help me, I believe in Travis Madigo.
Got him.
Along with our dear departed doctor, and myself and Mr. Barge, this group managed to outwit and outroute the Civility, arguably one of the most heavily armed cargo ships in the Red Feather Fleet. There was not a large landing party on that boat. There was us, and we stood firm. If there is any crew in the history of Weave that stands a chance to rout the Mariner at a port like this, it is the crew of the Uhuru. I'll remind you that out there is a cove that has been created by a town that was sunk. There is a natural barrier of rock and sand that sits between the beach of Nordia and our foes. They cannot directly land on that beach, which gives us time to fortify this town. If we decide now that we are willing to fight, we will be able to build up those fortifications. We will be able to shore our walls against this threat. If it is a matter of binding the Mariner, of performing a ceremony to use the natural magics of this place against him and his fleet, then we can buy ourselves that time. But my friends, we will want that time anyway, because we still need to finish the scrape. We don't know if the Mariner intends to attack at night or at noon or even this morning. If the Mariner were to attack right now, even if our intent was to save as many as we could and take off, we would not be able to do that. And we couldn't do that because our ship will not allow us. We could commit every hand on board to the scrape, and there would be too many to finish the work. But if we prepare for a fight right now, we can buy ourselves the time we need, whether that is the time to load our ship with innocence and flee, or the time to perform a ceremony and defend this town permanently against the Mariner's threat. You ask yourselves whether you will fight or flee. Those are not decisions that the crew of the Uhuru makes. The Uhuru chooses when and how to fight. We will fight. We can either fight preparing, or we can fight unprepared. Doing things in half measures will spell our doom. That I agree with Mr. Spit. So vote to fight now and join me in helping this town defend itself. And with that, Nodoze clears away. After a moment of hesitation, Spit steps forward. Now, y'all know I've been sailing with the captain longer than anyone on this ship. And the captain and I got to
speaking about this last night. Normally,
I
normally
don't love
when
hearing
the
that.
captain's got his mind set on doing something, he's all sorts of plans and schemes. I asked him how he might go about fighting, and he just sat there thinking. Now, I don't intend to be here speaking words for the captain. He can do that on his own account. He always has been able to, and he ain't never been shy about it.
It feels
But
like he's saying that stuff on purpose.
But what if it's true? But what if it is
I
true?
hate it. I hate it.
Shh.
But I'll say this. I don't think it's wise to cross swords with the mariner. Not in this way. Not right now. We ain't done no scouting. We don't know what kind of advantages we have. How well fortified is Nordia? How many cannons do they have? Because I'll tell you how many cannons the ship has. None. We've got a ship that we've made really good at boarding other ships and taking their cargo. We ain't fortified. We ain't outfitted for a fight against ships on the sea. Now, there are things the Uhuru could do, but we'd need really, really good support from that town of people out there. And I've been talking to them. Most of them don't want to acknowledge the fact that the mariner's on his way. There's going to be a lot of panic today. And it's going to be all that it takes from us to calm down those that we can and get them to safety aboard our ship. That's just the way I sees it. Obviously, if y'all decide to fight, I will be behind you. Because that's what I signed up for when I joined this crew. When I got this, Spit takes out of his pocket an old coin that looks beaten and tarnished, covered in bits of rust. It is the symbol of all crew members aboard the Uhuru. The Uhuru's Jolly Roger, stamped into something that used to belong to the Red Feather Syndicate. For most, it is stamped into bits, the smaller currency made from the Red Feather bar, the standard currency across most of Sphere. It is bits of metal about as long as a human thumb. Bits are quarter bars, hunks of a bar that have actually been chopped off to create something that is roughly cube-shaped. The Uhuru coins are generally made of this being stamped down with the Uhuru's Roger, destroying something that once represented something very valuable to the Red Feather Syndicate, and instead turning it into a token of loyalty and determination. Everyone on the crew, subconsciously or consciously, reaches to their own token when they made the commitment to the other members of this crew, when they made the pledge to the captain that they would serve loyally. When I got this, I knew what it meant. And part of what it means is doing the right thing. But that doesn't mean we can't be clever about doing the right thing. Would it be right to stay and fight? Yes. But it's also right to protect who we can. And I think we're going to have an easier time of doing one than the other. So that's my piece. So we're at an interesting moment here. Spit and the Wasp have voiced themselves against this action. Spit represents the older hands on the crew, those most loyal to the captain. Wasp represents those members of the crew that have the most practical view of life. Those who don't imagine themselves as the protagonist of legendary stories, those who know that they are just living day to day as outlaws. Nodoze represents those who hunger to fight. Men like Wendell Barge, who pride themselves on their ability to stay cool and stay strong in a combat.
Oh boy. All right, then Gable heads back to the ship.
Metatron will cruise, kind of doing a hot dog maneuver beneath the tarp, will land like full on the deck of the ship. You see, waiting for you is Nodoze, Spit, and the captain. What you got for us, Gable?
Nothing good, but I think we knew that.
In a time such as this, any information is good information.
Thank you. That's why you're my friend? Colleague?
Why did you back it off?
I don't know. I don't know what your feelings are. We don't talk about them really, so I didn't want to overstep my boundaries. Anyway, we have 5 vessels, 3 smaller ones. I need you to remind me, James. I wasn't listening. How many small ones, big ones?
Oh, Liz. Oh,
Okay.
Liz.
There was one big one. There was a medium one. There were 3
go.
small ones.
There we go. I
There
don't
we
know
go.
why we do things
did
if
it.
you're not going to remember them.
Because you're there. You're the book. You can be the book.
Bone-filled meat dice.
Be the book you want to see in this world.
So Gable tells them what they saw and a rough counting of here's where the Mariner was last, here's what we can feel, here's a guesstimate based on the connections that they felt of how many personnel are on the ships in total, and also describing and really discussing with the rest of them this potential speed of each of those individual ships, because some of them will be faster than the others.
This is a difficult circumstance. We don't know if they're going to be within bombardment range. Each of those larger ships will be equipped with cannons that could be ruinous if they're able to anchor close enough to port.
And several of the ships will be able to anchor at this very moment. There's truly no way to tell. I tried once and I couldn't do it, so I assume that's enough information that no one will be able to tell ever again.
Well, you are the person that we trusted as the scout for this mission, so we'll have to just trust your instincts and not bother with second guessing.
I mean, other people could scout. Other people could do it. It doesn't have to be just me. I'm not that great at looking at things. Other people could look.
The Spit and Nodoze look to the captain. The captain has a hand on his chin, and he appears to be thoughtfully stroking his beard. And then he looks to you, Gable. It is a questioning look. A look that signals to you that he would like an opinion. How confident are you in your scouting abilities?
I'm confident in my abilities if I can use magic, but that's iffy and stressful.
The captain just makes a gesture at the air. Well, I suppose we could spare some crew. Anything that we do, we're either going to be pulling people away from fortifying the walls of Nordia or from the scrape. So, if you think it's necessary, Helmsperson, we could send out a scouting party to see where they might land.
That'll take too long. That'll take far too long.
That would only be 2 or 3 people at most. If it's something that we need to do, you can give the order to do it. And I think this is a good opportunity for me to explain to you and the audience the mechanics that you're going to have access to during this adventure.
Oh, no.
This crew.
Yeah. Okay, it's just back in. Gable thinks, which is hard for them.
It's not easy to think.
If we could put exactly 1 crew member at each of these inlets, and they point out on the map where these potential sandbars that could be deeper or higher, depending on the tide or how the Mariner controls the tide, keep lookouts, and at the first sign of any sort of breach, set off a flare. That could give us 30 minutes to an hour of time to prepare.
that would let us know where they are boarding our shores as well. There is one risk that I foresee with that, which is that if they are to send up a flare, that will alert the fleet of drowned sailors to their position.
Well, we don't need a flare if we can have just our fastest crew members who can run.
The
Or
fastest
swim.
crew member that we have is Jonnet, as has been established in a live show segment. He moves his feet
Naruto
very,
reference.
very fast.
That's right. I mean, I'm down to help out however I can if I
Jonnet,
needed any
no.
scouting, but I
Jonnet,
would
no.
want right. I would want to kind of be here.
Well, then what would your command be? I don't know that we have anyone on this ship that's a strong swimmer.
Or do we?
So the impression that I'm getting is that Gable would like to assign Ryan Lochte and some other faceless crew members to
Yes.
scout on the beach.
Yes.
All right. So to do that, you'll be rolling 2 green and 1 yellow die against 2 purple and 2 black.
Against 2 purple, you said?
That's correct.
Well, that's fine. That is just 3 successes.
James is dead.
James dead. James left the frame as I made the roll.
Where did he go?
Yeah, I apologize. I went to go get dice that I could roll in case somebody died, but I hear that apparently it was a success and nobody's gonna die.
Ryan Lochte lives another day.
All right, how many successes?
But he did get mugged.
He did get
Well, he
mugged.
said he got mugged.
He lied about getting mugged.
How many successes did you say that was again?
3 successes.
Okay. You are going to be alerted as soon as mariners make landfall. So you don't have to worry about any of that. Like you'll find out as soon. Actually, what is the order? Is it as soon as they make landfall, or are they going to be running back as soon as they see ships?
Didn't you say that there was like an inlet or a couple inlets?
So there is theoretically one decent inlet that will definitely let in all the smaller boats and could potentially let in the larger boats. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically, as soon as a ship passes that area, you want to be informed?
Yes.
Okay.
Any sort of ship.
Cool. Yeah. I think like as soon as a ship crosses that parallel, everybody aboard the Uhuru is going to be notified. So that will give you I think a full hour's notice before ships can even start lining up cannon fire, let alone make landfall. So you'll have plenty of notice because of that roll.
Well, I did a thing. I did some hard work. So.
With that, Jane walks over. Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt the strategy meeting. There are a couple merchants from the town that say they have deliveries.
Oh, Jonnet runs out the door.
Gable runs after him.
You run out to the Uhuru, which is under the large tarp that is protecting it from weather.
It's like a little tornado, and
Oh, hate it.
With this, Gable is looking across the docks to the Il Sanguidio, which is under its own smaller, now appropriately sized tarp.
Okay. So I will argue that because we were inside the guts of the ship, we probably already know quite a bit about it.
I agree.
So we probably know how many people are currently on it, how well armed it is, and good entry points. Would you agree?
I'd say that the ship has got somewhere between 20 and 30 cannon. It is. I might have said more cannons before. I really should write things down. Maybe I did, but honestly, it doesn't matter. You know that this ship is a ship designed to rain down cannon fire on targets beneath it. This is a ship that is specifically designed to take on challenges like the Mariner. And because of that, it is as well outfitted for this task as you could imagine. Unfortunately, like the crew itself, this is a kind of skeleton crew. You estimate that there are probably somewhere around 20 soldiers aboard. There are probably 3 to 5 like religious attendants, essentially glorified butlers for the Lacrima. And there are probably about 10 Araners who, you know, are red feather trained people who know how to fly a ship like that.
Eesh. So what we need to figure out is how many people we would need to take to both take down all of the occupants, but also to ride it out. That is a lot of people.
I mean, you know, Gable is kind of a thembo, but not kind of a thembo. Gable's a thembo,
yeah.
But Gable also is a pirate thembo. So you would know that typically what pirate ships do to get their way is simply threaten overwhelming force to get other ships to back down. It might be simply a matter of posturing and, you know, declaring that the Uhuru is going to take over this ship.
Or could we provide one single distraction that draws them all out, and then when they turn around, oh boy, the ship's already gone?
Yes. To do that, you would need
a big pizza.
You'd need at least 6 people.
2 pizzas.
Because you would need people to help you stoke up the engines aboard this ship and get it into the air to pull away without the soldiers or other religious officials inside.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, something important to remember is that the Lacrima and his people are not expecting the Mariner to show up. Or if the Mariner shows up, they don't think he can possibly threaten this area. So it's likely that a bunch of them are still in town, going about their business, enjoying what little of the festival there is and all the rain.
So it might not be a full party.
Yeah.
Okay. So Gable is looking at this. Who else is around them?
Travis is there. Travis, I think, is at Gable's. I mean, I'll let Johnny describe it. But Johnny, what does Travis look like right now? Because I think you've got things that need to be said to Gable.
Well, first of all, he looks great in his new coat.
Mm-hmm. So there's some preening pride there.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think he's a little, honestly, a little quieter than usual. Surprisingly, just a little more reserved.
Yeah, Gable, I think you were muttering something out loud that really opened you up to an insult that Travis likes to levy on you. And he just doesn't take the opportunity.
Gable turns to Travis. Can I help you? You don't like this stuff, so you can go. You can like find Johnit or hang with the birds. I don't. Okay, goodbye. Go. Shoo. Bye.
Well, I actually wanted to talk to you.
Again?
I know. But hey, hopefully it's the last time.
So we last left off on Travis and Margaret. So I'd like to turn to Gable, actually. Gable, how are you sneaking up on your prey of this big fancy ship? This pinnace.
What time is it?
I think it's like early afternoon or like right before noon, because
Yes.
you woke up and had the vote kind of early in the morning.
So it's not like night or moody at all.
No, but it's raining really hard right now. So there are dark clouds covering the sky.
I'm taking with me a crew of, I want to say, 3 people who are going to be part of the commandeering party. And I'll choose Nodoze and Wendell because they're my fellas, and then you can choose the other.
So we're risking both Nodoze and Wendell on this particular trip, which is very exciting to me.
It makes sense in the story.
I think it does make sense in the story. So I'm essentially going to be pulling a random NPC to go with you. So I'm going to roll a D31.
A D31, James?
Yeah.
That's no.
Yeah, well, it doesn't exist in our world, but we can create a computer generated one, and that gave me a result of 6, which means Slam is coming with you.
No.
Oh, no.
I refuse.
Yeah.
All the favorites.
Oh, what a! I feel like that means at least one of them's gotta go.
Well,
James, I can't.
I will point out that all of these popular crew members, that again, these are some heavy hitters. This particular mission, I don't know what the budget for it, but like a lot of it went to the actors. They all have hit points. So if a bad number comes up for them, if they fail a roll,
they won't die.
They won't die. There's like at this point a 30% chance that one of them is going to get hurt. Just so people know, on the death chart, we are into the 60s. So if you fail a roll, for every failure, there is a 60% chance that somehow someone on the crew gets hurt.
Okay.
And you don't just have these 3 people, like there are other crew members with you. It's just those are 3 featured players who are really leading the charge and giving you 3 yellow dice to roll anytime you have them do something as part of this mission.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. So Gable, you've got your crew of pirates sneaking up on Il Sanguedillo. What do you do?
How many people are like stationed at the boat?
Well, for that, you'll have to do some scouting. Did you want to do a scouting roll?
Yeah.
Is this going to be Gable, or is this going to be the crew scouting for Gable? I love this mechanic, by the way. I know I made it up and it's a bullshit hollow thing to say, but I really, really like the idea that like Gable, I don't think has the best stats for perception or stealth or anything. So like, it makes more sense to use the crew, and it's a big risk.
Yeah.
It's a good mechanic, James. You're a wizard.
I just didn't realize that we were going to be having the full fan favorite regalia. Let's send Wendell to scout.
Okay.
Are we going to be using those same 3 yellows?
So you can say that this whole group is like you've commanded them to scout.
Okay.
If you decide, it's just Wendell, I don't want to risk those other 2, it'll be 2 green and 1 yellow. But if you send the whole group to scout, it's 3 yellow. It's just all of them are at risk.
I'll do 2 green and 1 yellow then.
Okay. So this is just Wendell leading a little scouting party.
Yeah.
It's going to be average, It's
2?
Yep.
I'm never going to remember what's average or hard. I'm never going to do it, James. I'm never going to
I
remember
love it. Liz, I love it. Please keep fighting.
That is a success and 3 advantages.
Oh, cat. Okay, yeah.
Little arrow is advantages, right?
Yep. So I am going to say a success. Like you, like with that many people like dedicated to this operation, you pretty much climbed around the docks and around the countryside that is kind of surrounding the sky docks, and got in like about a half hour's time that they came back with perfect information. They know there are 10 people aboard that ship right now. That your advantages are there are still a lot of crew members on Il Sanguidio who are enjoying the last day of Baganalia. So the people who are left on that ship, the 10 people, are like a skeleton crew of people who have probably upset the priest and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Right now there is a crew member from that ship that is missing. And I think they don't know that person is missing because there was a break-in on the ship, I don't think. I'm trying to remember your getaway from that. I think it was pretty clean. You threw someone out a window, Gable.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You yoked one of the guards clean through a window, defenestrated that fool.
Okay.
So, but what that means is because you did it and got away clean, Margaret was helping you with that invisibility spell. You kind of have a situation where the crew aboard the Il Sanguidio is like, hey, where's one of the guards? And everybody's like, I don't know. And I think Lorenzo Arenzi is kind of convinced that this person must have stolen something. Anything missing or damaged on the ship, I think he assumes that person ran away with Gable because Gable escaped.
Okay.
So probably what it is Lorenzo's like, our prisoner's gone and somebody else has gone with him. That person helped Gable escape. Gable was so hot, they must have seduced the guard and escaped.
Great. Of course.
So there's like a big contingent of people that are being punished. They're not allowed to attend the last day of Baganalia, and they're stuck aboard the ship, kind of being grumpy. Okay. While everybody else involved is over in the town.
And is Lorenzo on the boat?
Lorenzo is not on the boat. Lorenzo is enjoying a nice drink somewhere for Baganalia.
Okay. That is all very good info.
I'll say a nice drink and a fully uncooked cinnamon roll, as is the Nordian tradition.
As is tradition. Absolutely.
We got to get these Nordia jokes in because we're leaving soon. So
Got to. All right. With all that knowledge, do we know where on the boat most of them are? Are they on the deck, top deck, or are they all mainly inside?
They're mainly inside because it's raining.
Great. Gable turns to Wendell. Is there anyone at the helm?
No, helm's topside, so everybody's avoiding it right now.
Well, what a lovely opportunity for one of you to start taking over some of my responsibilities.
I don't know. Those captain council meetings are, they sound pretty high stress. You got to answer a lot of letters. I can't.
Not that one.
I'm not great with reading.
No, I meant the helm. Like someone should take the helm here.
Janet needs a lot of responsible sort of authority figures in his life to provide him structure so he grows up to be a healthy boy.
Listen, I understand, and I'm barely there too. I get it. Understandable. I was just saying that because the helm it'd be nice if we had someone at the helm to prepare to leave.
I see. Okay, so if we need someone at the helm, we need someone who's strong and would be able to hold that wheel. Probably someone whose strength is so great that it kind of restricts his range of motion to pretty much only doing potato-based activities. I think this is a great opportunity for Slam to come in.
For you.
No, I mean, I've got this. My arm is so strong now. Whatever that fire did, it made me very powerful. I want to punch some people.
Okay.
So whiny.
Who else is going to be whiny? If we're all going to be whining on this outing, I can go back and get the bee or someone. Are we all going to be on board and be good sports?
No, we'll be good sports, Gable. Yeah, I can be a great sport. Sure.
All right, Slam, do you want to be at the helm?
Yeah, I think I can do it. I've learned a lot of life lessons. I taught someone how to make a sandwich.
But do you know which way is port, which way starboard?
Yeah.
Okay, then I think that's mostly it. All right. All All right, Slam, if you can keep an eye on topside, and if anyone comes out of those holes, I want you to wallop them like they were little moles, all right?
Yeah, sure. Like a little mole. Yeah, I know how I treat a little mole. For sure.
Me, Wendell, and Nodoze are going to board. There's only 10 people where I think we are pretty well suited. I think this ship should be ours in a matter of an hour.
Excellent. Then I think I don't want to make a whole scene of this combat because we've got another combat going. I think we should abstract this to a whole conquer the ship roll. And if you fail, the scene will get a little bit more intense and people will get hurt, that sort of thing. So that's going to be 3 yellow dice with 1 blue die. Because Gable is the...
I was about to say, I already know the ship.
Yeah. So I am going to say that the difficulty here is going to be 2 purple dice and 1 black die.
Yoif. Okay.
14?
4 successes and 2 threats.
Radical.
Why?
Okay, let me check really quick.
With flair and a plum.
Yeah, that's a plum for sure. I am just going to see if I made any rules for what happens on disadvantage.
Great success. Have you guys done that on campaign? Have you done the Borat success? Have you done that one?
No, that's a aspect of the Borat movie that hasn't been revisited in podcast spaces, and I think could be for sure.
I mean, yeah, we could. Yeah,
if you want to start that,
I'll try.
If you want to be the Atlas to that world, kind of holding it up, I will support you. I will be your Hercules, and I'll pop in for like a second and support you on that. The story is? There's the Uhuru crew. I've just talked about that. Okay.
A Borat RPG.
There's got to be, right?
There must be. There have been so many. Let's see. Okay. So there is nothing that is there for disadvantages. Okay. So what happens? We have Gable leading their team of elite fighters and enforcers on the Uhuru, moving down from like different angles. I think some jumping off the dock, some who are climbing up the side of the ship like Minnie did the other night, and some who might even be brazenly walking up the plank because, again, there's nobody really topside watching the boat. Everyone manages to infiltrate the ship. You move level by level, room by room, kind of surgically surprising everyone on the ship and subduing them before there is much of a fight. Now, you do have a disadvantage here, and what I think it is, it's got to be Slam, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So Slam is at the helm of the ship, watching out for little moles. And I think one person, like we see Gable and Nodoze spring into a room. Gable sort of chokes slams somebody through a table. Nodoze very quickly, with a dull end of his spear, manages to knock another person out. But there's a third person who manages to escape and make his way to top deck. And there, Slam is keeping a watchful eye on the ship, looking for little moles. He sees this person come up to top deck, and he thinks, whack 'em like they're a little mole. So he grabs the helm of the ship, rips it off where it is rooted down, and smashes this person with the wheel and subdues them.
Oh.
So now the ship is fully under your control, but it is damaged.
Oh.
What, complete overkill, Slam. What?
Slam did a slam.
But otherwise, that went very smoothly for you, Gable.
So what can we steer the ship?
You're going to need to repair the helm.
All right. Gable gets up. Everyone has been tossed to the side or knocked out. And seeing that the helm is been destroyed, Gable turns to Nodoze and Slam and says, "Not it."
Slam, despite being Slam, is very good at playing Not It, and instantly his finger is on his nose, which leaves Nodoze. So then, were you expecting me to repair the helm?
Yes, that's if you can. If not, then there was no point to a Not It. I could put it back together. You know what? I'll do it. I'm a team player. I'll put the helm back together. Slam, you did great.
Yeah, thank you.
A little bit overkill, but we're learning. We're learning how we work as a team.
Sometimes I don't understand my strength,
Listen, the Bulls took a long time to really come together as the powerhouse that they were.
I
built over years.
You keep telling me I'm Scottie Pippen.
Yes, you are. You are. Slam.
Stay in that headspace.
Gable hold Slam's face. You are Scottie Pippen. But then I'll roll to fix the helm.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of this, what this role is, and I actually have to bring up your.
As helms person, it could be.
Yeah, there is a
sailing.
Mechanics skill.
Mechanics.
So.
I'm weirdly decent at it. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty on this, let's see, ripped the wheel clean off. I am going to say I'll give you two options on this. You can spend a lot of time on this and it'll be average, or you can try and do it very quickly. That will make it hard.
Can I have a blue die because I know the helm so good?
Yeah, we can give that to you.
Yeah. All right, then I'll make it hard. I've been rolling so much. That is just one threat.
Ooh, okay. You look at this. Here's the thing. It would be one thing if Slam had managed to rip off just the wheel, but he did a lot of damage to the bolts that were kind of holding it in place in the wood surrounding them. You're going to need a lot more time to repair this. And if really this is going to be a ship that you're flying during a combat, you're going to need some kind of replacement wheel for it, and you're going to need it quick, especially if you're going to be the person who does this.
Okay. They've got a lot of treasure, don't they?
They do.
Do they have anything just crazily unnecessary and huge?
I think they do. I think this is a great opportunity to pull a luminary and see what they got.
Butcher.
Yeah, they've got a big wheel made of knives. So
my knife wheel. Oh.
Hey, who touched my fucking knife wheel?
It's my fucking knife wheel.
It was labeled.
If you got a knife wheel that you brought from home, you can put your fucking name on it, and then it's yours.
But it's mine. It's my wheel of knives.
My knife wheel. It's mine. And it is the soldiers. So.
Do they have... It's a big decorative shield.
Ooh, yeah.
That has never seen combat. It's covered in gold and jewels.
I like it. I think it is... Let's see. I need to pull up the luminaries. I think you're right. A big decorative shield feels right. I just need to know their themes so I can get it exactly correct. All right. Death, deception, and memory. I think it is it's gotta be like some sort of commemorative thing for people who have died in the service of the slain god, or maybe aboard this ship.
What if it's like a funeral plate?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that feels like a sort of unnecessarily... It Truly, it is a commemorative plate for service to the church.
I think probably one of the things that you have to do when you are a Lacrima is perform funerals for like state officials in cities that are friendly to the Church of the Slain God. And Lorenzo Arenzi kind of insists that, you know, if he's going to be up there giving a speech commemorating these people, he wants like a very big, impressive, decorative thing around him. It's like most of these places, they don't have any fucking money, so it doesn't look good. And I'm not going to be up there standing next to whatever shit flowers that they could get in whatever port. So we're going to have a big funeral plate.
It's like, what is it for? Are we to put the meal on the plate? No. It's for looks.
It's for looks.
It's for looking at.
Also, get off the couch. It's got plastic covering on it. It's not for sitting.
This is my mother's house.
This is my mother's good couch. They're streaking towards the city. The camera crosses that cannonball in the air, and we move over to Gable. Gable, you're aboard Il Sanguidio. The wheel is complete. What do you do?
Okay.
And I imagine, like, in the meantime, because we saw you at the end of last episode, like, see it, like, finishing up the wheel. I imagine, like, the ship is prepared to launch if you would like to launch it.
Yeah. I think we are going to launch the ship. I don't think Gable is going to be on board with the ship, but I also think we need more people than just the three.
So, like I said before, there are more people in this group. Those three are just the people who are taking on additional risk when you roll actions. But like there are untold members of the Uhuru crew, because if you fail a roll, there's a chance that instead of rolling one of the three people that you've put at risk, it'll be another random person on the Uhuru.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Gable really quickly turns to Nodoze and puts two hands on his shoulders. Remember, full firepower, as quick as you can. You are just trying to slow them down. The moment they start retaliating, you have to leave. You have to get out of there. There's no way to win. Promise me.
I promise.
Drop
I will
ballast.
follow your command.
Okay.
Ballast?
Drop it. Drop all the ballast. Get out of range, drop, and then get back on shore. I need you here.
There's quite a bit aboard this ship. Do you wish to drop everything? Once we've run out of powder and cannon, do you wish us to just throw what we can?
Everything.
We could dump the cannons overboard.
Everything. Strip it for
Understood.
parts.
Then I have another question. Should we retain control of the ship?
You're the best. You're the best. I don't know if I tell you this enough. You are the best. I love you so much. I don't know if it's in that way, but oh my God.
Okay, that was a lot.
No. All right, no, we're going to deal with that later. But yes, absolutely. Whatever you can do, stay safe. But it's not our ship.
Nodoze smiles. Nodoze always has this very particular kind of smile when someone has authorized him to do something risky and dramatic in a fight. And it's a smile that he has made at you more times than you can count now. And I think there is a bit of a handshake or gesture that Nodoze gives you, but especially when you are about to enter a situation that could result in your deaths. What is that?
The kind of forearm claspy thing.
Oh, yeah. I love it. It's classic. Yeah, a good old-fashioned forearm shake. Wendell, with his powerful arm, pats you on the back. We'll take care of it. Don't worry.
Slam?
Yeah, we got this, for sure.
Are you sure? You can come back. It's okay. I won't say you're a coward.
No, I used to be a potato boy. And here, I've become a sandwich man.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but all right, thank you, Slam. All right, goodbye. And Gable runs off. Their plan is to stay on the beach for as long as possible because, of course, the army is going to be coming through there and basically be the front lines and hold off the forces for as long as they can and distract the mariner before he comes in.
Then we see the furnace aboard Il Sanguidio stoked as it is piled high with coal. And we can see there is somebody who... It's Wendell. Wendell is like shoveling coal into the furnace for Il Sanguidio. And he's like looking at the fire. We can see it reflected in his eyes. Wendell is, of course, someone who lives for battle and probably wishes that he was down on the beach fighting alongside Gable, but knows that he's going to be seeing a lot of action here too. And as he is studying this overly fancy furnace that like has parts of it that are even unmarred with soot, as Lorenzo Arenzi would always have them scrub the grate clean every time the ship landed. He sees hung on the side of this insulated furnace a small bag, and he reaches forward and opens it up. Reaching inside, he withdraws a small, silvery, sparkling nugget, and he gets a broad smile on his face and takes one of the nuggets and tosses it lightly into the furnace, and then spins around and ducks as a huge, like closing the grate, we can see an explosion of fire moving around the heat shields on the grate. And that explosion of fire creates silvery flames that jet up the tubing attached to the furnace into the envelope of the sky ship, as Wendell has just thrown a hunk of bright amber into the furnace, something that burns incredibly fast and incredibly hot. The ship jerks beneath him, and you can even hear a small tingle of the heart bell at the center of the ship as Il Sanguidio's envelope turns blood red in the few areas of it that have true feather weave, and it takes flight.
Cool. Damn it. Fuck.
There is...
I love the gingerly toss.
Yes, it's just like a little... Then we move across the city as an add to this little bit of tension. I think we are going to cut to the deck of Il Sanguidio. Right now, I think Nodoze is kind of looking out, trying to spot the positions of their opponents. And so we see through the hazy, dim look of this spyglass that Nodoze is looking through, that has droplets of water in the way and is appearing into gray mist. We can see the eerie ghost lights of the mariner's ships, the larger ships from his fleet, which are sitting beyond the land barrier of the cove. And looking through these, we can see something dark rising behind them. And slowly we realize as it gets closer, it is a massive wave. And this almost tidal wave that is washing closer looks as though it is going to swallow up these ships in entirety. It crashes over them, enveloping them, and washes into the bay. But as Nodoze calls out to the people around him, "Tidal wave! Tidal wave!" We can see it envelop the ghost lights on those ships, wash over the cove, and spill out onto the beaches a little bit. We can see after it is done washing, that emerging from underneath that inky black wave are the larger mariner ships. They have been washed into the bay by a wave. As they come out from underneath that water, they begin to fire. They fire a volley at Il Sanguidio. They fire a volley at Upper Nordia. And a volley at the Skyship dock, where the Uhuru rests. So, I am going to make some rolls here. One roll is for 3 advantages, but no successes, which is good. One roll is going to be a failure and a threat. And one roll is going to be 2 successes and 2 threats. So,
Okay.
here's where we're at. You have those 3 results. So somewhere you're going to take damage and people are going to get hurt. One place you are going to be shot at, but actually end up ahead somehow. And another area you're going to be shot at and it's going to cause you some difficulty. So between the targets of the skyship, the Uhuru, which is docked, Il Sanguidio, which is in the sky, and Upper Nordia itself, where do you want to assign those? Where are you interested in being challenged?
My vote would be keep the ship safe, and then we could figure out the.
That was exactly what I was thinking. Have it be a wash with the Uhuru with like some disadvantages, and then have the Il Sanguidio come out better for it, because that's technically could be to our advantage.
I think that makes the most sense. I think because here's what happened. Because Nodoze shouted out tidal wave to the crew, I feel like that information gets back to Slam, who is still, I guess, at the helm of this ship. And Slam just decides to turn the ship. He's got no real reasoning to do this.
You're fine.
He's like, yeah, exactly. It's a ship in the sky. The wave is going to be so far beneath them. But he turns, and I think he's actually positioned the broadsides of Il Sanguidio towards the oncoming dangers. So when they get to act next, they will have 2 blue dice.
2 blue dice? Wow.
Yeah. It's, there are 3 threats to the Mariners' forces rolled off that. So I feel like that's appropriate.
That pool is pretty good.
We then turn to the Uhuru itself. The ghost fire cannons, these like blue-green lights streak through the sky and explode on the docks in front of the Uhuru. And we can see in the illumination of these explosions beneath the tarp that is currently covering the Uhuru, we can see the collection of townsfolk from Nordia and sky pirates who are working on the rest of the scrape. We can see people with these barrels of alcohol, like just washing it on freshly scraped areas of ship, while everyone else is using chisels and sledgehammers to knock off the thick shell of scamolic that is covering the hull. We can see that on the lower part of the hull, it appears to be really the only places left where scamolic is present. The rest of the ship, especially around the rudder and guide sails, it appears to have been cleared away. And I think we can actually see Uhuru pirates are currently restringing fresh rope into the pulleys that are attached to the guide sail and rudder. So we're almost ready to launch there. But I think some errant ghost light actually lands onto the tarp that is covering the Uhuru, and it catches fire. it catches fire with this ghost light. And you'd think that, it's very strange to have a fire affect something that its whole job is to be wet, but that is the danger of ghost light. It is the mariner's fire. It can burn things that are even wet. There are shouts from people working on the Uhuru that there is a fire on the tarp, and if it is not dealt with swiftly and successfully, then it threatens to burn away all of the protection, which could really endanger any sort of long-term travel plans for the Uhuru, should you not be successful in this battle. As that happens, like we're kind of looking at this ghost light starting to lick its way across the tarp, and someone darkens the frame of our shot as we quickly turn to Upper Nordia, where boom, 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 cannonballs rain down on parts of the town that are now sitting up atop these hills and cliffs. Like I said, there are people who have just built homes that are kind of on stilts on the side of this sharp incline that's overlooking Upper Nordia, and it's sending some of these buildings just down into the town, like literal homes crashing down on businesses and other things that are in downtown Nordia. It was 3 damage that we were dealing with. There were three successes that we were dealing with on top of the damage of cannons. So I am now going to ask, how much of this do you want meted out to the citizens of Nordia, and how much of this is going to affect the Uhuru crew?
Oh.
I don't know. Well, also, the damage.
I vote crew.
Yeah.
Immediately address. We've got Travis figuring out where he is. We've got Gable, who just wrapped up a fight on the staircase, and we've got Il Sanguidio in the air that kind of has a shot lined up.
I would love to resolve the boat because we've got this nice dice pool that I would like to take advantage of.
Yeah, let's do it. Liz, let's have you take the helm there.
Okay. So we've got 3 for each of the 3 named characters plus the 2 blue that you gave to me.
Yes.
So
for 3 named characters, you are rolling with 3 yellow.
Yes. So you said that in the bay, instead of the 3 small ships, we have 2 big ships now, or?
So in the bay, you had the 2 small ships. Now you have 3 big ships that have kind of washed in with it.
3 big ships. So what is my difficulty?
Your difficulty is going to be, well, what are you trying to do? Where are you targeting?
The biggest ship.
You're going to target the biggest ship with a volley of cannon fire.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then the difficulty for that, I think you're in prime position. It's an average check to hit with cannon fire from this high above.
Average is 2?
Average is 2. True purple.
Oh no. Oh, it's on the ground. Oh, God. A success and 5 advantages.
Hell yes.
Okay.
So I think the Uhuru pirates that have boarded Il Sanguidio, they were setting up these cannons to fire in rotation. And I think this is a complete volley that they have managed to line up. It rocks the ship violently with the explosion of cannons from one half of the ship all firing at the same time. The heart bell rings out with, a deep ring because it is a heart bell, but, it's also the fanciful silver heart bell that was on Il Sanguidio. So it is kind of a sweet and deep ring that mixes with the cannon fire, wind and rain sounding as there's a huge explosion of fire that lights up this silver gilded ship. And the cannonballs sail through the air down onto the decks of the largest ship in the Mariner's fleet. And I believe they strike the main mast of that ship and send it crashing down. We're also going to take damage against the mariners, so I will take away from their resources here.
That's what happens when you send the beef boys.
Yeah.
Let's go to the beach.
So that deals 10 damage to these drowned sailors in just a brutal volley that has destroyed the main mast of this flagship. We can see chaos ensues on the deck as that mast creaks and cracks and lines begin to strain and snap. It falls down onto the deck. There are mariners who are right now aiming cannons on that deck who are just crushed beneath it. And we can see stepping out from behind the helm in full relief for the first time, I'll look at the mariner himself. The mariner is gaunt and pale. There are pocked areas of his skin where it looks like perhaps there are barnacles growing beneath. He also has kind of a bluish green haze about him. He looks a little bit like the ghost light. It is not so much that he is bright and burning in the murky haze of the storm and darkness, but more unlike some of the other things in the ship, which might be concealed by the shade and shadow. The mariner stands out in a way that is unignorable. But apart from those things, there's nothing really about the mariner that is remarkable. The horror in his look is the same horror that you see in the rest of the drowned sailors around him. He just looks like a person that is not very well cared for and has been ravaged by the sea. But he looks out over the chaos of this ship and then silently turns his focus towards the shore. So with that, we can move on to the next thing to resolve. And I think it should be
Travis, I think.
Let's catch up with Travis. Travis, you are currently kind of blending into this crowd of sailors who are on their procession towards Nordia itself. Whatever partial transformation you've gone through, which I believe is causing you a good bit of pain right now. You are concealed for the time being. What do you do? What's your plan?
So I want to make my way to Gable.
Okay. So you're actually going to try and move up to Gable as is starting to swell into this monstrous thing. And it is encompassing the square. Not only is the mariner stabbing into all of you, but these tendrils are moving into buildings. And you can see stabbing, I think we'll make this, it stabs into the bar where the members of the slain church were hanging out earlier and Gable first got kidnapped. And we can see one of these slain god soldiers run through by one of these tendrils, and ghost light starts to spread out from his chest and burn him away as his soul is consumed and then absorbed into the mariner's body. So now we're approaching, not only is the mariner this unstoppable magical force, but he's starting to manifest a leviathan on land in front of you. And things look pretty grim. Gable is still waiting for a signal.
I think in that moment, like, Jonnet knows that, like, what he can do is done, and he just we have the moment where he arcs, hits away the tendril, and he just yells out to anyone in particular, "A toast!"
Oh, I love that.
So Gable, you have to get a good shot at this bell. What are you doing?
Well, I'm already in a decent position, I believe.
All right, roll it up.
Yeah. So Gable, what they're doing, they are going to take the Blade of Judgment, hold it up like a javelin, and then just hawk it at the bell. So would I be rolling for a ranged attack or the sword?
I think this is a ranged attack.
No, but like would I roll for like the stats of the sword? Or just
So you're not rolling the stats of the sword in this case because like that sword is meant to be swung and not thrown.
Is that ranged heavy?
Ranged heavy, I would call it.
What's the difference between ranged AG and ranged heavy and ranged light?
I think ranged AG is like cannons. Ranged light is like guns, and ranged heavy is like would be a heavier gun, but in this case, because you have a great sword, I would also consider it a heavy weapon range.
So you want me to do heavy?
Yeah.
Okay. My ranged AG is better, but okay, that's fine. And what is this versus?
This is against a hard difficulty because you want to hit the bell and make it ring. You're far away from it. You're throwing a sword, which you don't normally do. But you get 2 blue dice on this attack.
Jeebus. How?
I'll reveal it.
And I guess I also get it. All right, we'll see. Okay. Success and 3 advantages.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So here's
Wait, no,
what.
that's 2 successes and 3 advantages because I'm adding the.
Oh yeah.
Even better. So
That matters.
here's what happens. I think Gable, like you set up to do this, and the Mariner now has this amorphous form, and I think built into this form of the Mariner's bodies, not only are there shipwrecks and bones, but there are also human faces in this form. Melded into these strange limbs, the screaming faces of drowned sailors and people that have been killed by the Mariner are part of this body. And they see you doing this thing, and they're going to attack you. As you line up this shot and prepare to throw, there is this limb that comes towards you. And then diving out of the sky, Metatron catches one of these limbs. And followed by Flea and Lucas, who have all on their own accord decided to tangle up with these limbs. But the Mariners, with this added sight and power, starts to see the tendrils of Nordian magic wrapping around himself. He doesn't know that he has to drink the bad bog wine, but he can feel that a spell is being cast on him. He starts to move then towards Jonnet, thinking Jonnet is going to be the apex of this spell. And as he tries to move forward, his body is struck by cannonballs as Il Sanguidio is in the sky. And we can see on the deck Nodoze and Wendell aiming cannons while Slam is holding the wheel firm to position these shots. And there are cries from the Uhuru crew. We can see like this amorphous body like trying to move across the ground and consume anything it can see or feel, and then there is a stab from a javelin. As we can see, the Uhuru is in the sky as well. And the massive spear cannon that it uses to catch and reel in ships has sunk through the mariner's body, pulling back this incredible force just long enough for Gable to throw their sword. It moves through the air. I think there's like this cool slow motion shot of it silently slicing through raindrops, and the silence is broken by this bell ringing out over the land and singing the end of Boganalia. In this moment, I think those of you who have had good bog wine, received it as a gift, you feel like kind of a bolstering of health in this moment that brings you from the brink of death. And we can also see very rapidly the mariner's body rotting. Very quickly, like the bits of ship that might even be decades or hundreds of years old, aging thousands of years. Instantaneously, like its form starts to shrivel and shrink and turn to dust and be blown away. We can see the burning anger in the ghost light that is inside the mariner's body, trying to stand against the power of this place. But this is a festival that has happened here for over 300 years. And the rules are very simple and very clear. And everyone in this space, even those who are not from Nordia, respect those traditions. And the weight of that magic pushes back against the mariner, who is right now mostly disconnected from his fleet, and even though it is raining, he is standing on dry land, a place where his power is diminished. There is a flash of ghost light and a pulse as the mariner's power starts to get ripped away from the land, and he turns towards Jonnet, as though he is going to make a final attack or say something. And Oromar Vale grabs his face and pulls it towards him. And Jonnet, you can see Oromar whisper something in the mariner's ear through the sputtering of water pouring from his mouth and nose. It's not loud enough for you to hear it, but the mariner's face contorts to anger and rage as his form is ripped away, leaving Oromar standing there alone. The blade rots away and the wounds close up around it. The captain turns to you and winks. And with this, I think the rain starts to slow and stop as well.
Okay, now I'll sing it. I just need a note. Just give me the note and I'll sing it. Okay, see, that wasn't so hard, was it? 2, 3. Guzzled on the stew and the beer and the wine, for we're stuck with each other through the worst of times. Turn our bones to stone and our blood to brine, for it's time to toast the axle. Here we go! My great-grandfather fought in the war with a man who saved his life 8 times o'er. Each year they'd split 2 bottles or more, and they both lived to be 90. Guzzled down the stew and the beer and the wine, for we're stuck with each other through the worst of times. Turn our bones to stone and our blood to brine, for it's time to toast the axle. Drunken Jones stumbled out to me field, and his drunken dance a straight ruined me yield. So I gave him a wine, made a pickled eels, he drank it, and now we're brothers. Guzzled on the stew and the beer and the wine, for we're stuck with each other through the worst of times. Turn our bones to stone and our blood to brine, for it's time to toast the axle. Toast, 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 toast. Lazy Tony stole all me wealth, so I gifted him a thistle wine to drink to me health. That bottle sat one whole year on a shelf, but he was dead the next morning. You gotta drink the wine. The beer and the wine, for we stuck with each other through the worst of times. Turn our bones to stone and our blood to brine, for it's time. Everybody! Guzzled on the stew and the beer and the wine, for we stuck with each other through the worst of times. Turn our bones to stone and our blood to brine, for it's time to toast the axle.
People begin to pack up and say their goodbyes, coming down to the water that has gathered beneath the ship in these massive puddles beside the tarp. We see Nodoze approaching Gable, who is probably at the end of the thrill and patience that they had to serve these children as a human catapult. Nodoze approaches. Pardon me, I do not mean to interrupt.
Oh, please do. I'm very tired.
Throw us!
One. That's it. That's going to be definitely it forever.
You've been saying that for the past hour. Throw us.
Come on, you're strong.
Gable takes these two children and hurls them as far as they can go. Which...
Team Rocket style, they disappear into the sky with a twinkle.
And no one asks any questions.
They never come back. I think that was the last of them.
I first wish to offer you this as congratulations for another victory. And he offers you a fine piece of rope.
You read my mind.
That's good, because you've got some real thinking to do. There's a decision that needs to be made, and I spoke with the captain, but he was insistent that the quartermaster must answer it. So I come to you.
To find the quartermaster?
Yes, the quartermaster must answer it, which means he would tell me to ask someone else, and as it is an important decision, I came to you. Yes.
Cutting out the middleman. That's why you're the smartest one that I know.
Also, it is a trial that we face because of your good thinking and quick decision-making. So I believe you are more qualified to answer it than Madigo would be, and that is... what must we do with Il Sanguidio? During the fight, the Uhuru captured it. It could be ours.
Why is the captain asking? He's been desiring a fleet as long as he's been always alive, as far as I know.
The captain, I cannot imagine what goes through the captain's mind when he makes a decision like this. I will say that this could be a strategic decision that the captain believes those who are lower in the ranks of the ship might be better to think through. The captain does desire fleets, and the captain has commanded fleets, but when the captain commands fleets, he does so in partnership with his closest allies. The captain's council would ultimately be shuffling someone off to captain a fleet underneath himself. One of you would likely be in command of Il Sanguidio if we were to bring it in under our ranks, or someone that you choose. The captain might be asking you because you have the best sense of whether or not we currently have the forces to maintain 2 ships. It would add to the burden of coal that we need to take on as we go to the new port. And there is also
if we take a ship from the fleet of the slain god, that will be a new burden the Uhuru carries with it as it enters each port. Right now, we might not be exactly friendly with the church, but they're not outwardly hostile to us because we've given them no course. If we're flying one of their ships, that might suddenly draw their ire.
Gable all of a sudden claps Nodoze on the shoulder, and they say, I have an idea. And they run up the plank to the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Where is B?